But Charlie, I have to say, I love your name. You are a mad lad. Hashtag, we were supposed to go to Chicago together. Ooh. Hashtag Corona. You know, I hope all this shit's cleared up by Fall Fest, because I'm really trying to get my invite and go back to Worlds again.
Same. Just be prepared, it might not, unfortunately.
You were there when I got mine, Charlie. I'll always remember. I know. I was watching a couple of your games. It's like, oh, it's looking at your hands. It's like, you poor thing. I don't even know how I fucking topped that day, because I was so sick. I had a fucking major ear infection. Couldn't hear out my right ear. Oh my god, that was awful.
There we go. You should just let us go back to these tournaments. Steven topped with fucking coronavirus. Anything's possible. Shit.
Fucking seriously. Being sick is my good luck charm.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking infect us all. We're gonna get to Worlds and they're gonna quarantine us. Vanguard players can't leave Japan. Fuck.
We're just gonna get stopped at the airport and never be seen from again.
Right. I'm dying. Thank you. Fucking Christ.
Yes. On both stream.
Training with Leon right now.
There's some wind. I'm outside right now.
Yeah. That makes
my story better.
sense.
I'm outside right now.
All right. I got my water. I've had my Cheerios. I'm prepared.
Hey, I have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
Eat cereal. Do you eat cereal with the milk in it or the milk on the side?
I'll do you one better. I don't eat cereal with milk. Period. I have it dry like a heathen.
You're the man. Yes. Yes. There is hope for this fucking dying world. So I'm not the only one, thank God.
All right. Here go.
Oh boy.
Woo, okay, so, welcome to the Tachi-Talk first podcast. I mean, yeah, there's no viewers as of right now, but this is recorded, so I'm just gonna edit it and put stuff in, I guess. But, welcome. How are you guys feeling today?
Feeling fine. Got up about an hour ago. Feeling great.
Yeah, you came in an hour ago, and then I got scared when you didn't come in, 20 minutes after that.
I don't know how I got it so wrong. It's currently 1 o'clock where I am. I don't know how I managed to get my time wrong. The moral of the story, we're here now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
I forgot to. Oh no, it's in chat. I can just look in chat. Okay. So as the title says, we got 2 Worlds players here. We got Josh and Steven. So congrats guys on making it to Worlds for 2019.
I mean, yeah, thanks. Especially when you get bodied when you go to Worlds for the first time. Your confidence is at an all-time high, and you're like, all right, do the best I can. And then your first 3 matches are Gold Paladin back to back to back. And then Giza Gridora spikes.
Oh god.
It makes no sense, like, at all.
My round 1, I didn't have an opponent.
Must be nice.
At Worlds. My first and last rounds, no opponent.
Somebody clearly showed up for the promo and walked out.
I only got to play against 4 actual people. One of them was Itchy Tom, OTT.
Classic.
And he killed me with a triple crit. That was very, very fun.
That's
I went
like
against
the
Near
best
Nectar
way to
twice
die.
back to back.
Triple crit?
Went against Gold Powder Mirror. The Gold Powder Mirror, I didn't draw a grade 2 and died in grade 1. That was nice. Just 3 times.
We got a few questions today. There'll be like a Q&A section, I guess, kind of Josh and Steven at the end. I thought more people would show up because one of them's active, the other one's idle, so I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. What are your guys' thoughts on
He's gonna
Ganturaptor?
pop in at the last second.
Yeah, he just comes in the last second. I don't have like space on the screen for this. I don't have space for another person.
And you hear a 5th voice and you're like, oh, fucking haunted!
But what are your thoughts on Ganturaptor, a new stride, the whatever that thing is?
Let me stop catching this.
So Angerblader 2.0.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we have 8 copies of Angerblader now premium, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty much all I thought of was like just a stride powered up Angerblader. The
He's
plus 5
basically-
doesn't matter
If you
anymore.
can do Angerblader, you just go him and then just extra kill them.
Okay. So that's the thing though, is like with now Ganturaptor and Neveros, we have like 2 finishers. It all depends on the situation. Like, you want to just multi-attack with big ass stage dudes, or do you want to multi-attack with a big ass Vanguard? So, I guess.
Well,
boy, don't diss my man Dynast, okay?
Dynast, if you're going into Dynast, you're already losing the game, unfortunately. You're already in a losing position if you have to go into Dynast.
Yeah, but
But I still play
big boys
'cause he
plus
collects
Dynast.
his shit.
So I have a question. I may have to look at it later, but in G-Zone, do you have to have 16 cards?
No.
No.
No?
You have 0.
Okay. You can have 0? Cool. So my G-Zone is going to be like for Ganturaptor, for Neveros, and that's it. No G cards, no balls. 16 cards. Let's go, boys. Overkill.
Well,
No. 12
Yeah.
credit, 4 of the stand. We have to have Coel Magnum. I forgot.
Always.
well, I don't know. I
What
don't
are you
know,
gonna
man.
play?
We
Final
have.
Chaos? We're gonna add all the memes if you're just gonna play Ganturaptor and Neberos.
That's very true. Just
He's
4,
right.
4 Dino Chaos, like last strikes and shit to recover materials when you retire
Play the Rex package.
Yeah. Just
Have some binding.
Also play Dark Rex, like OG Dark Rex.
Oh, don't do that to my heart. I miss that card.
I know. I remember back in G when I was doing locals with Gaia when Gaia was like a $300 deck. I was for a little bit. I went a whole meme route and played 4 Gaia and 4 Dark Rex, so I could Dogma, attack him with Dogma, restand, attack Dogma, and then ride into Dark Rex. I won like 1 locals doing that, and I felt so bad.
Grex, the legendary card. Why did you get so weird when the reboot happened?
The standard reboot.
It's literally just name room trench, but as a triple rare. It's just that shit grade 3 Grand Blue card from the first set.
Wow!
Rare.
Wow!
It's a triple rare.
Alright, Bushiroad, welcome to our meeting. We're going to make the triple rares better than their G triple rare counterpart. We're going to make sure that slot is worth it. Dark Rex. Fuck, we've already messed up.
Oh, but I think Ganturaptor's like a solid second stride. You feel kiddo.
Yeah.
Like okay. Well, right, but that. Like, I'm currently looking at my own list, like, right in front of me. And, like, if we go into Nebrius first stride, and let's say we're using the baby Tyranno as the starter, by the time we get that first stride, Tyranno's already, like, loaded up, so we don't need to waste any more of our, rear guards. And then, we get a free column or 2 free more attackers, whatever the card is. And yeah, that's less gauge we need to worry about not being on sweeper. And then next turn, we already have at least 2 Nebrius face up. Because let's face it, we're flipping a Nebrius. That's given. That's given.
No, Given's into leaders, wrong clan.
Give it. Fuck, I'm still in Igorg mode.
Wow.
No, but then we flip a third, and then we just kind of keep hammering him in, probably, maybe.
I would say I have to agree with that. Ganturaptor is probably our best finisher as a second stride over Nebros, because of the fact that, like I said, you're gonna flip up 2 Nebroses. You should always go to Nebros first if you can do it, and if you're playing Standard Plus, which let's face it, that's the strongest build right now for Tachi's Premium. Unfortunate as it is. You know it is. You know it is.
Fight me on that, I swear. It is
my
not.
spicy Raptor right shooting premium deck. Y'all ain't ready for that.
Plus is the most consistent, strong premium Tachis right now.
Well, I don't even
Again,
know
fight me.
if we can classify it as, like, consistent, because ever since Wave 2, Tachis have just been slap card down, go unga bunga swing.
Yeah.
That was my problem with, like, destructive raging tactics Tachis. Where, like, wave 1, we were like, oh yeah, we need to be careful about where we put our gauge, how we kill our stuff, and then, like, maintaining the hand advantage. Wave 2 Tachis were just like, Angerblader, go burr.
Yeah.
Oh, what's funny is Charlie and I, we had a locals, it's called Shane, it's really cool, and this guy plays Tachis, and Charlie knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
This guy would play Tachis, and he could not figure out why they banned Angerblader, or they limited it down to 1. He said the deck wasn't very good. So it's like, dude, watch any pro player, I guess quote unquote pro player, and watch like how it does at Worlds and the results and the data that's provided. It's a good deck. That's why, because like you said, all you do is you drop Angerblader, you drop your board, and you say, you have a way to survive? How many people do you have left? No?
Yeah.
Goodbye. Bye.
But even if they do survive, they're not doing anything on the following turn because they have no hand.
Exactly.
Right. There's a oh god. And then when it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna be trying to kill that sweeper, and we just go, oh yeah, no pass. You're gonna damage deny me? Okay, cool. The sweeper now has 8 gauge. What are you doing with your life?
These
I
games are
always
the best.
Pro play.
I always love when people try to just attack on the sweeper, and it's just like 5k guard, 5k guard.
You do the pro
5K
play,
for no
and
pass.
you go Valkyrion, swing at the sweeper, and they drop the perfect guard.
Oh my god. Valkyrie. Who would win a cosmic mini or a single diamond?
Boy.
Actually,
One
me
down
and
the
Josh
boy.
have tested out that matchup. It's 50-50, depending if they get their pieces.
Yeah.
It all like that matchup really depends because if like a carry-on player goes first and they manage to get set up, if we're talking pre-Angerblader limit, they'd have to have the right setup. If Angerblader went first, yeah, bye Genesis player. You just
Isn't that like the kill potential that Angerblader had, where it had like at least a 60% chance of always killing you on their first grade 3 ride? It's just
That's why
insane. You open up decent with your gaugers, and you open up 1 or 2 sweepers, you're almost guaranteed to kill them first ride, or not first. Wow, first grade 3 ride, and if not, your second grade 3 ride or second grade 3 turn, you're just gonna kill them. Well,
Right.
I don't think I ever played a game where someone survived 2 Angerblader turn.
Well, and I think that's why they called it like that's why it got the nickname Exodia Tachis, because basically, did you open up the pieces? Oh, you literally are dead. If you don't die this turn, like you said, you're gonna die next turn. So that's why it got that nickname, because that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, you drew your pieces and you just win. Your opponent can't do anything about it. There's no counterplay to it, really. Giant sweeper, okay, it's big as fuck. What are you gonna do?
I just like to imagine, like, at the beginning of the game, we see like all of our pieces. We are going first, draw 1 card, and reveal the hand. Do you have a response? Just classic Yu-Gi-Oh style, where it's just okay, cool. This is my hand. What can you survive?
A couple of times in a CFA, I was playing Test and Tachis, and they're just like, do you have pieces? I'll just reveal my hand, and they're just quit. Because it's like, there's no point playing out, they're gonna die. There's no point. Because I'll open up, like, I have like 3 sweepers, Zanfelio, Angerblader, like, do you really want to keep playing this out? You're gonna die next turn.
Oh.
As soon as I ride a grade 3, you're dead. Do I have to make you suffer?
Oh my god.
So Charlie wants me to talk about this, so I guess this is a good place to go about it. A couple weeks ago, you guys know, I made a post just out of the blue because I was thinking about it at work. I was like, we got a lot of T-Rexes, we got a lot of Brachiosaurus, we got fucking Triceratops even with multiple eyes, which is really weird when you think about it. Okay. I was like, got all these big bad dinosaurs. When I think about it, don't have a pterodactyl. Got a grade 1, a grade 2, and maybe a couple other grade 1s, but we don't have an actual pterodactyl boss monster.
Right.
That's very
Love
true.
that. Not like maybe for a meme, just so I can say I cocked someone over, caw.
I love that.
But like seriously, in all seriousness, I want something else other than like the usual ones. I want some different variety. How do you guys feel about that?
Along that line, we also don't have any savage, really boss monsters.
None that are good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get like Savage is always supposed to be kind of like the support of the Tachikaze lore-wise, but still, we don't actually have a Savage finisher.
I could get behind like it being like a really like badass G guard, for like Savage and the Pterodactyl.
Dude, that would be sick. Oh man. Me a Savage G-Guard, I would be okay with that. And you just look at the opponent, you'd be like, G-Guard, you put it on the Guardian Circuit, you'd be like, Savage.
You gotta dab on him as you do
And dab on him, yeah. No, like there's a lot of variety to the historic age, and like don't see a lot of that creativity. We barely got any decent fish creatures. I am not counting Koal Magnum because we already know what level he's at.
Lord and Savior.
Exactly. We don't have a lot of sea crustaceans. We don't have a lot of pterodactyls. And hell, even the raptors. Give me a revamp of the fucking raptors, Bushiro, please.
Freedom Shark set.
I mean, Ganturaptor. We have a boss raptor now, at least.
I mean, that is very true, but I want the raptor kernel. One that has a giant freaking 6-pack rocket launcher on its back. That's what
I am excited to see Zero getting the Raptor Ride Chain.
Yeah. And I know Chaos is getting buffed. Like, you retire 2 and draw 1. I mean, that's all for the superior rides, but that's so fucking good. And I mean, Rex coming back, I'm like, all right, cool. You're going to have a good finisher right off the bat. We're not going to just stuck with the Death Rex.
Right. Oh.
One thing I will say, design-wise, is that in Tachi Premium, there's so many different fun builds that you can make.
Oh.
So this is the level that's one thing that attracted me to Tachi in the first place was just there's so many different build styles to go with.
Well, and when I first hopped into Vanguard, I hopped into the literally at the start or the tail end of Maelstrom, Blood, and Maelstrom. So right when Ultimate Break was ending, basically, that was my first tournament experience. Was all those decks, and I was like, Aquaforce is cool. Charles deck, started playing. I'm like, it's cool. And then I saw Tachi-Kaze, and I was like, Ancient Dragons. These look cool. And then I saw, Dark Rex, immediately fell in love. And I saw the Raptors, and I was like, dude, that Tachi-Kaze was the clan I wanted to go with, because I'm like, I love dinosaurs. Variety, the look. They aren't the typical cookie cutter look.
Right.
So I'm like, a lot like the Royal Paladins, the Shadow Paladins. I'm like, okay, there's some variety, but they all kind of have this same thing about them because they're the poster child. Essentially. Right. Kagero, they had some variety and whatnot. No other clans had variety, but Tachi's, it was just like there's so much like different designs and sizes between the characters and or the cards at the time. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then when it progressed and we got Gaia, I was like, your design, but I'm all for it. And we got Dogma, and I was like, yo, this thing speaks to me. This thing's a beast.
Yo, this thing slaps. Wait, guys, do we not have a Mega Blast? Does Tachi not have a Mega Blast?
No, I don't think we do.
They're one of the
What the hell? What?
I'm okay with that. I mean, I would love to bring back a Mega Blast. That would be hilarious, but
when you think about it, it's hard to design a Mega Blast for Tachi-Kaze's because in terms of mechanics, we've had so many different mechanics. Like, our main thing has always been eating a rearguard to gain power, but we do different things when we eat rearguards. Sometimes we draw, sometimes we revive units, sometimes we get crits, sometimes we get power, sometimes we restand. It's really hard to define, what does Tachi-Kaze do?
I mean, all of the Mega Blasts outside of Dark Irregular, since they had 5 of them. We just follow one of the Mega Blasts. We got retire all your rear guards. We can restand. Draw 5. Why not? Go with the OTT one.
I think they dropped the Mega Blast thing once. They got to BTO 6 or 7. That's when Narcomies dropped, I believe.
Yeah,
it might have been 10. It might have been 10 when it came out. I think they just started dropping the idea of Mega Blast because it's like nobody really is going to pay that cost. And
I'm going to pay that cost with Mr. Invincible.
Shut up. No, the card is booty.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No.
God.
Blasphemy.
The card is. Oh my god, I hate that fucking card with a passion.
I'll play that cost in like fucking Kakaro.
Counter Blast 4, Soul Blast 6, or whatever it is. Counter Blast 5, Soul Blast 8, whatever the cost is, and restand my Vanguard, bro. I don't care. Restand my whole board.
Would it be cool to see one? Yeah, but I think it's like what Steven said. It just would be hard to design for Tachi-Talk because it's like there's not really a whole lot you could do unless they gave them an alternate restander with the Mega Blast, essentially, a Mr. Invincible that just restands the Vanguard, gets some power or something. I don't know. I mean, Mega Blast ain't coming back anytime soon. The only thing I could think of that they'll keep bringing back is the Retrained Grade 3s and the ride chains. I mean, we've already seen it with Arbros, Tsukiyomi, other stuff. So I think
we need more ride chains. We need more ride chains reprinted.
I could see that. Let's see, Charlie.
Starter, damn it.
Talk about cards you would like to get retrained. Well, we're already on that now, Charlie. Now that I'm looking at it, since we're on the topic of retrains, I definitely would like to see the Raptor chain. I would like to see Ancient Dragons in a way, since the way it looks, bringing back sub-clans, but not requiring the sub-clans to benefit off of each other, which is an interesting way to take the game. I'd like to see some sub-clans come back. Oh, Steven disconnected. Oh, no, he's back. Welcome back.
Oh, there.
So
I couldn't hear anyone's voices. That's weird.
well, so what units specifically, or anything from Tachi's, or anything you guys would like to see retrained?
Sarko Blaze.
Sarko Blaze? Okay.
Sarko Blaze. You're telling me that a boy that currently says no zeros won't get a retrain?
Ooh. Oh man, that would be spicy. Give us our Tom back into Tachi-Talk. Oh! Maybe that's why they won't bring back Angerblader. Power on that thing.
They're plotting a Tom.
What if it had the gets 5k for every gauge under a clause during your turn only, and then also if it has 3 or more, your opponent can't use grade zeros when the unit attacked.
That's dumb. That's so dumb.
It would have fit though. It would fit the current playstyle we're going with of stacking gauges on one unit and keeping
go
it
uncle
down.
unit.
Actually, now that I think about it, would like a unit I'd like retrained is the Savage Grade 3. I mean, other than Gaia, the Savage Grade 3 that was essentially a stride fodder. It managed to stay in there for a turn.
Yeah.
No, I like the design of that card and the idea. Yeah, I like the idea of that. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Too bad it's not going to last. You're going against a retired clan.
Yeah, or they've called a rear guard, they're just going to attack it.
Pretty much. I mean, the time when it came out, I believe
That was
Kaguro.
2010.
Yeah, Kaguro was starting to become a thing.
Kagura Narukami.
Yeah, so it was hard to play in that deck.
That was also when like DI also was getting their retire support too.
Yeah, and of course when Gears could just spin your stuff to the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Duplex Dragon say wee. Oh wait, I need to hit a ZTV. Oh well.
Easy.
Look at what I'm playing.
One card I really, really hope gets retrained would have to be Gaia or Dogma. Gaia for me personally, because when I first got into Vanguard, I learned how to play with Tachi-Talks right before G Guardians came out.
Oh.
I haven't been in the game that long. And then I kind of like dabbled in it, and then I played Link Joker for a little bit.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't like do tournaments or anything. I kind of just played very casually because I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh at the time competitively. And then I finally got money, so I was working a lot more, and I was like, I love dinosaurs, and you know what? These Tachi-Kaze look bomb as fuck. And then I read Dogma, and I was like, oh my god, so good.
Yeah.
And then I bought it, and then like fucking won after my first couple locals. I won like 8 locals back to back with Tachi-Kaze because I got a list at top with Gaia, just kind of copied and then kind of fucked around with it for a while, and just fell in love with the playstyle of eating and multi-attacking and gorge and managing resources, the combos that it had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always so satisfying when you could go into the Dogma, attack with your rear guards, eat them all, recall them all back, attack, eat them all again, recall them back, and get like 11 attacks a turn. And I was like, oh.
That's one of the things I think,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people harp on, you know, one format or the other. But like with premium, that's what I miss with Tachi-Kaze is the combo potential. And that's the thing with premium is it's a lot of combo potential and whatnot. And a lot of people say, oh, it's trash or whatever. But it's like if you go in with the mindset that I've said this since premium's become a thing. If you go in with the mindset that there's going to be some BS, there's going to be a lot of combo heavy decks, you're going to not feel hopefully as bad because you're mentally preparing yourself for that. With Tachi-Kaze, like that combo potential is still there, which is what I love and why. One, I want to see when we get the next Tachi support, I want to see Gaia get retrained. It has to happen.
I would love to see Gaia get retrained and also still be viable in premium.
If they retrain anything else, I would be surprised. If they just straight up say, "Oh no, we're not going to go back to Gaia. We're going to do like a different
raptor."
I mean, if it was Raptors, oh dude, that Facebook group, you'd see me losing my shit. But I think of all the units for Tachi-Kaze, Gaia has to be number one that they retrain, and then maybe Dogma is like VR or something. Or if Gaia is not the VR, then Dogma has to be. Raptors could be the triple rares and double rares for kind of like subpar support.
For
budget players. And other than that, there's not a lot of units that they can go with because they don't go with any of those. They're going to make a new unit like they did with Angerblader because that Angerblader is brand new. So
brand new mechanic.
Yeah. Resending multiple rear guards and constantly retiring your stuff. A free board wipe, essentially.
While you're powering up your own units while doing it.
What the fuck?
I want to see a Tachi-Kaze version of Artemis. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Where it's got that protection. You know, everything gets everything. You know.
The one way I could see that coming back is if Bushro decides to bring back Locke. Because as we've seen recently, we saw the gift, or not the gift, but
the gift
card. It says, "Oh, you can unlock a unit," and basically telling people, "Hey, you can unlock stuff and run for this card." Essentially, but like I think they could do that if they bring back Locke mechanic. I don't think they won't because they're trying to avoid that era. And Chaos was just
fucking
Chaos reigned until an army of heroes.
Did you have a Vanguard that is solely reliant on itself? No, you have a deck that relies on rear guards. Well, I guess you don't get to play the game. Or to play the game essentially. So.
Oh, you need 5 to retire? Cool. I'm gonna seal off a circle so that you're never going to be able to get that.
Feels bad.
Those are the strong games.
Strong. That kind of goes into the whatchamacallit. What's it called? The vanilla core, the Cray core.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see.
That's my deck.
Hey, hello.
Mad lad.
So here's my okay. So hear me out. We just search out heal triggers. That's all I say about that. We just search out our heal triggers.
Are you suggesting that we turbo to GB8?
I wasn't considering it, but
I don't want to be spiked. Stop. I don't want to be spiked.
The only problem with turboing to our GBA is that it's not a kill GBA. Like,
it's just minding its own business.
No, what we do.
it like retires, gets power, but doesn't like multi-attack that well.
Turbo to GB8, and then we write on Neveros GB8. It's a kill.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know we could search out heal triggers with that order.
No, yeah, you can search out anything that's vanilla, as long as it's vanilla, a trigger unit or a normal unit. Not in order because those things have effects, but.
Oh god. Bro, that makes me not want to play against Gears in like premium. Because they're just gonna turbo to Exodia, like, or not Exodia, to fucking what's its face?
Oh, did you see the
thingamabob? The thingamabob.
Yeah,
They're just
Heritage.
gonna turbo to that monster.
Thing that takes an extra turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it extra turn. Why not?
Heritage be like.
Unga.
Heritage.
Did you guys
What's funny
see
is actually when I went to Team League in Anaheim, not the year that Gordon and Jordan won, but the year prior, literally that's the only reason I lost to Gears was Heritage. That extra turn gave them the cards to just keep going, and I'm like, man, wish I had a turn.
Oh. So explain this Cray core to me. Explain this Cray core to me.
Oh no.
So I hear the Cray core, and I'm like, yeah, hit me with this.
So, for most people, the Cray core is literally just Zazam, the grade 1, a bunch of vanillas, and Tempespier, which is the order. That's like most of the deck for people. But for me, what I consider the Cray core, you also put in Mowark and Barrigirin, which is the grade 2 and grade 3. And that lets you have an option to Superior Ride and then Superior Stride if you have an extra Counterblast. And, I mean, turn 2 Stride, if you can pull that off, you're going to kill them next turn. And with all of this, you get to flip up a bunch of Cyclones, and since you're flipping up a bunch of Cyclones, more cards in your deck are big units. And you can use these units to like stand with Ganturaptor. So not only do you have stuff like Sweeper and Trooper if you play them, I don't. You also have these other vanillas that are huge as heck. So what I like to do in my grade 2 lineup, you put in the 3k2 crit grade 2. And you buff them through Cyclone and then you restand them with Ganturaptor and it just gets big. I mean, it's more of a meme than anything else, but it does seem strong.
I mean, it brings it up to what, 8k with a singular copy, right?
Yeah, it's 8k singular copy.
13 on 2 copies.
Mm-hmm.
Excel Circle makes 18.
Yep. For the most part, you want to call it with a booster, because if the booster is vanilla, then the buff technically doubles since it's in a column. So instead of just having it be like those numbers, you'll have a 9k booster behind it. It'll, let's say you have 2 face up, right? By itself, the 2 crit will be, 13? With the booster, it's going to be 32, so that's even bigger. Jacob randomly dies. Okay. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Oh, okay.
It's definitely a very interesting concept to try out, and I will probably try out your list on CSA at some point to go for the memes. I mean, the memes can be fun. If you never played fucking Co-Magnum 16 draw, you have not lived your life. Oh, 12 draw. 12 draw for Co-Magnum loop deck. You have not lived your life.
What's kind of concerning, though, since we're on the topic of the Cray core, is how well the decks are going to be able to use it to shut down or just kill people faster. Because I think Cray core is going to bring in this meta where people aren't going to give the friggin' first or two counterblasts. It's going to be this whole pass turn. Not gonna chance that who can do that. Like, you have the Bobo, you have this, you have that. I don't think people are gonna do it. Any deck.
True, like.
All right, what if I missed? I heard 16. I heard 16 draw and
12 draw, I meant. 12 draw.
12.
Because what you do is the Co-Magnum loop deck, which Charlie, the mad lad he is, has.
Okay.
Crafted and perfected it in premium.
Kind of.
You literally just make it so you can cycle through your deck so fast, you get to just like 3 cards left in your deck, and those being all Co-Magnums, then give you board infinite power.
No, it's 1 or 2 cards depending on how many copies of Coel you have left.
Oh, yeah.
If you have 3 copies left between hand and deck, it's 1 card. If you have all 4 copies between hand and deck, it's 2 cards. But yeah, I mean, you got the gist of it. It's a meme that I made up, and it somehow worked.
Also, very sad. In one of Damco's 40s videos from a couple months back, the dude had the Co-Magnum loop. Literally, his only 2 cards of deck were Co-Magnum, and he had a copy in hand, and he did not do. He had 2 copies in hand. He had all 4 and didn't do the loop, and I was very sad to see that.
Bro, imagine Goomba even playing Tachis correctly, though.
Oh my god. I hate watching them play Tachi Premium. It gives me an aneurysm.
At least Austin tries. Goomba's just over here being like, power.
Yeah, we don't talk about that channel, by the way. That channel just brings up so many misplays that I don't even want to look at it.
Oh my god. It's awful.
But to, like, bring up something random, on one of my commentary videos, it was this is back when Great Nature released. I point out a misplay where the Tachi player retired Beam Tarot with Mega Rex, right? And then they gave the power first and then drew a card. I said that was a minor misplay, but it doesn't do anything because you're gonna get it anyways. But there's this guy in the comments saying that no, he did it right. You give the 3K and then you draw. I was like, you have to fulfill the whole effect first because you paid the cost, so you can't do anything about it. What?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, I just thought of something Josh got to say.
I swear, Josh.
So you know how the Cray core allows you just to free ride grade 3 and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So imagine this. Go against Gridora. Shut down one of your columns. You can't call shit.
Oh.
Chaos. They just force you to call it into those circles. Fuck premium.
The deck still dies to those decks. I mean,
I remember when Gordora first came out, I was just like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
It's such a weird mechanic when it first came.
And then when Premium Collection Ghidorah came out, I was like, what the fuck is this stride?
I've never been more infuriated to play against Ghidorah Geese than when I was playing Tachi. I uploaded a game of that on my channel, and I'm just kind of over here being like, what the fuck? Because every deck I play is like superior call in one way or another. Like it's Grand Blue Premium and Tachi's Premium. Ghidorah Geese says, what? What are you doing with your life? And I'm like, you know what? That's a very good question, bro.
I may not have offense, but I have defense. Ghidorah's like, you don't have G-Guard, bitch.
You
well, I'm coming for your booty. And you're like, no, please.
I remember at BCS Anaheim last fall season, going into top 8, getting paired up against a Gridora player. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
I had
Okay.
to read every single card. So I was like, I have not seen these cards in at least 3 years. Holy fuck.
I love playing the deck. And I, same tournament where I lost to the Heritage, I was actually playing Gridora and I was doing really well that whole day. There was a match where I went up against Police and she swung for like 100 some odd K and I guarded it without G guards so I could I think with some G guards, and then I perfect guarded the next one so I couldn't die to the Vanguard and won the next turn with Overwhelm. Mint. And then Worlds happens. And I'm like, okay, it's the 3 Golds players or whatever. I'm like, cool, whatever. Then I faced the Gize Gridora players, one of which was Hank. I've never met Hank. He's a cool guy. Shout out to him.
Oh, he's a cool Hank.
Yeah, he's a cool Hank. So first Gize Gridora player, I was like, okay, Gridora is probably Gize because no one plays vanilla anymore. He flipped up all of his Zeroth dragons. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to die. Do it. He never saw Ultimate Strike. I was like, how in the world you have a deck that stalls and you
plays draw or cards that let you draw.
I'm baffled. I was just like, I won. How? I was ready to die. Like what? And then I go against Hank. I'm like, okay. He wasn't getting Ultimate Strike. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a scene repeat. This is gonna be weird. And then I couldn't get anything to finish him off. I was like 1 or 2 cards short from getting a rear guard. I could kill him. And he pulls off the Ultimate Stride. I'm like,
well,
no, that Gridora Stride is really good. Like, not being able to G-Guard fucking sucks.
Oh. Gridora's Stride makes me sad.
So now that makes me really curious as to what the premium collection one is gonna be.
Oh god, yeah, that hasn't
More
been
anti-rear guard hate. It's either going to be anti-rear guard hate, which is going to make us Tachi players and other rear guard clans feel really bad. Or it's going to be something that's going to go against the Vanguard. Because they already have Obatarandis, now have Gridora. So it's like, what's next? Do we just give them power? Do we give them something that can go against Vanguard? A better Stun Beetle, perhaps?
They're just going to be like, oh, hey, mill some cards, even though that wasn't originally your mechanic.
Roll 20 cards for a Counterblast 4. Just cut them out of half their deck.
I feel like a lot of Premium Collection strides and Premium Collection 2 are going more standard support. So I feel like if they get a mill, they will probably get a mill stride.
Yeah, I can see that.
Time. And then it could be like you said, like Counterblast 1. Your opponent mills 2 or 3, but it's not once per turn.
Oh no, it would be interesting, but like they'd have. No, I don't. I have to look at the cards to see how consistent the Mega Colony Countercharge engine is. So like, could you imagine if it's like Counterblast 1, your opponent mills 5 cards. If you Counterblast 5, it's 25, and it's not once per turn. So if you have a way to countercharge in mid-turn or something like that, unless they make it like battle phase.
Bro, Grand Blue players just cry then.
Yeah, they do.
They're just kind of like, go ahead. Give me Counterblast. Oh, dude, you have 20 cards? Okay, cool. Stride. Counterblast 5, you're dead.
It could be something like Counterblast 1, discard 1. Your opponent mills for every rested rearguard they have.
Ooh,
oh my God.
I could see that. That'd be spicy.
For every grade 1 or higher you milled, give something 5k power.
I could see that. That'd be interesting. I'd be kind of okay with that.
And they could even make it once per turn if they want.
Right.
Dude, that's such a disgust. Okay, Steven, that might not actually be a good thing because if you go with the Cray core, you put in Gridora. And you say, okay, shut off a column. By the way, I can stride. By the way, I'm going to swing. And you have 3 cards. Cool. Mill 1 for each of those. My board gets huge while you're on grade 2. Swing. By the way, you lost a bunch of cards in hand, and you lost a column, and you can't do jack shit. Man,
You're dead? Okay.
not to be a Gridora player. Oh God, I don't know. We like Charlie and I discussed before we popped on the chat is.
I just realized my mic was muted.
Oh.
The stream didn't hear that. Whatever.
We still don't have Bermuda, and we still don't have Mega Colony. So it's like there's 2 more. It's like, what can they do? Like, what really could finish off premium collection? Is it going to be mediocre? Is it going to be like, really good? Because all the strides from premium collection have actually been pretty solid.
Except in Shadow.
Hey, Shadow's copy or paste your homework.
Shadow and Golds, because Golds basically do what was one of the premium collection strides that did basically what the Gold stride does?
Don't talk to me about the fucking gold stride. I was so disappointed.
Steven, I don't need your gold stack to get even more
some
cancers.
clans.
Hey,
Oh, but can we talk about that Genesis stride? Like, you can go into the astral
I
plane
won't know.
and have it open and still swing with a stride and set up for Wiseman. Like,
terrifying.
if you can get it to go off, yeah. It's pretty
Bro, how hard is it to activate the astral plane with new
It's not that. It's making sure you have right requirements in Soul, because you need a 5, a total, like a cost of 5 for Uranus at the astral plane. Then you need 6 to get the stride to go off. The problem is though, is if like you open up with not enough cards that can help you go into the Soul, it's just a basic turn.
But then standard Genesis at least also has that mitigating of Soul Blast reduction.
I have that. I've actually thought about the witches, the old witches like oranges and grapes. That basically when you soul blast them, you can soul charge. So if you soul blast them for what's it called the Uranus cost, you can soul charge to mitigate that. There's a lot of variety. It's just it really depends on how what you charge and how lucky you get sometimes. Also, the deck space is really tight, so there's some you gotta kind of pick and choose how you want to go about it. Oh, Himiko is that soul reduction. Don't give a damn.
This is really kind of off topic, but it's kind of. I was just notified of this by someone in the Tachi group. Do you guys know Sweeper? Just regular Sweeper is going for 18 right now.
Oh God!
It's not even. There's only 9 listings, ranging from $18 to $30.
Grade 2?
The grade 2.
Grade 2, yeah.
So if anyone wants any, I have almost an extra playset.
I gotcha.
Oh man, what are the SPs going for? Because last time I saw, they were bought out at 50.
Jesus.
Let's check that.
Is it bad that whenever I'm on TCG Player, I just type in Sweeper and don't even try to spell the rest of it out?
Oh my God!
Lowest
right
listing is 60.
50s.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, for SP. There's only 2.
Ugh.
$60 for SP. Holy fuck! Why? What's with this buyout? Oh, you know what?
I mean-
Ganturaptor is good. Bro. Being able to go into Ganturaptor and you just kind of look at the sweeper in your hand and be like, you're about to have instant protection, my friend. And then you slap it on board, give it 3 gauge, and all of a sudden, oh, hey, guess what? You can't denial griffin it now. You know, that's a pretty good thing. As soon as like Nitros, or if Nitros like starts being like comeuppance with like the Stride Nitros, you know, the Skeleton Cannoneer play, you know, it can't be popped. Can't be popped with Cannoneer.
That makes me feel so good going against Kagero. You don't have to worry about denial griffin. It's like, can't kill him. Ha ha ha.
Catch. Oh god.
Oh, so did you guys see the OTT combo with the new Amaterasu in premium?
Yeah.
Oh, with Calico Cat or whatever.
Yeah,
his name is?
yeah.
Oh, wait. Is it with Calico Cat? Isn't that where you can get like multiple crits and shit like that?
Yeah,
you just
plus
set the
30,
type-
plus
you just
3
set the
crit,
type
you
of
know.
crit.
Because whenever a card is revealed, then it gets the thingamabob, right?
Yeah, so what Calico does is you search
So
for 3
you
cards in your
reveal-
deck, you reveal them, and then your opponent discards 2 of them, you get the 3rd one. But you already get value from revealing those 3 cards, so yeah.
What a dumb card, man. It's times like these where I'm glad it's GB1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tell that to Zazan when it can just get GB1 turn 1.
GB1's so fucking slow.
I honestly think the way it's going. I mean, we're not going to see Calico Cat come back because it's banned.
It's
But I
banned as a
think
starter.
You still play the core.
Yeah, you played 4 of them.
God.
Wait,
So
here's the problem though. It's GB1. It's GB1. Like what? What are we gonna?
Yeah,
Like, what do you
and
do?
Zazan
Like,
can get GB1 turn 1. Imagine you go first, then your
Dude, I
opponent
feel-
goes, they do it, and then they hit you.
I keep forgetting about Zazan. I keep forgetting about that dumb order.
you're going to go into a tournament and you're going to be like, all right, I'm good to go. And then you play Zazan. You're going to be like, I forgot about Zazan.
I forgot about Zazan.
The first
You're
regional.
gonna unban Calico. You're gonna like unban
lose round
Calico
one.
starter, but like put it to 1, and then like I see the Calico be flipped, and I'm like, oh, GB1. Okay, I have plenty of time to deal with this. Sees the order that flips it up, and I'm like, ah, fuck, damn it.
So Highwell in chat, he says that you can run the grade 1 promo for an extra, I'm guessing he said that's mil. I don't remember what that grade 1 promo is, but he says there's like you can get it 90% of the games. So that's a scary percentage.
Wait, the OTT one?
Yeah,
Oh, the battle sister thingamabob?
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
have no idea, but I think so, sure.
Okay, so talk though, if we're going to have Fall Fest, honest to God, I think they're going to come out with like an emergency, ready to go ban list that's going to be like, this is not going to happen, this is not going to happen, and then something's still going to happen. And they'll be like, hey, you guys have to wait until after Worlds, sorry.
Speaking on that, what do you guys think is gonna be the Oh no, wait, the promos for the extra mulligan. Never mind. Yeah, I kind of remember what that is. I just don't remember what the name of that is. But speaking of ban list and Fall Fest and all that, what do you think the meta is gonna be for premium after this premium collection?
Definitely. I still think DIs are gonna be like
Kagero.
on show, and then I think Tachi's are gonna be like top 5 at least. I don't know where in the top 5, but I definitely think it's gonna be top 5.
We going off of just the premium collection or just like before Fall Fest?
I would probably say well, with all the knowledge we know right now, I would definitely say DI is going to be up there. Tachi's will be up there, but not actually be meta because no one plays them in tournaments. No one has
Or we
no
can-
representation. Like I don't know if you guys follow the past few Vision tournaments for premium, but there has literally been not a single Tachi player in like the past 2 or 3 of them. There was like 4 Tachi games, and it's usually they just like lose round 1 and drop.
Well, because usually the thing is a lot of people, and I said this to Charlie, is a lot of people, they've gotten so comfortable with the mindset of Angerblader. So simple and simplistic. They didn't bother to be like, what if something does happen and they don't experiment, they don't try anything, they're not trying to learn anything with the deck. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's not as cookie cutter anymore. It's not going to run people over as easily. I'm not going to play it. I might as well play Revan. I might as well play Vanquisher. I might as well play whatever the fuck is in the top of premium. Like, there's no experimentation there.
Narukami's also going to be up there now, isn't it?
Maybe.
It has potential. I don't think it's going to be up there, but I definitely think it has potential because of the new stride. Especially with like Gauntlet Buster being a thing.
Oh, Pale Moon, actually. Especially with Harry when it comes out. Might see that resurgence because I don't know what Harry's going to do. And then when they have that stride, mix that in, being able to get an extra Excel circle on a stride, it's not bad.
But it's
Slapping out on that circle.
I will say I was very disappointed as a Golds player to see that the Prima Collect Stride did not actually give us an Excel circle because we lost our Excel circles.
Oh, fun. You had like a whole year of Excel circles. You had a whole superior riding. You still have a superior ride. You got a superior stride. We just can't give you 2 counter blasts.
Yeah, Steven, you can't talk here, okay? You topped 2nd with golds, and then the deck got restricted. You can't say anything here. You can't complain about their new Link Joker strides.
Just Charlie always give me a bunch of shit about it. Steven and I, we played some casual matches before Worlds started.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I clapped him because I got crits all the time. And Charlie was like, you should have played Tachi-Kaze for actual World.
You should have.
And I'm like, but then I would have felt bad when I got bodied by the other gold players. It's like, no, you clapped Steven, you're doing good. I'm like, I was one guy against army in the fucking room. Also, the guy that I lost to in round is the champion. He became the world champion. So I'm like, I don't feel bad. It's not bad.
I mean, look at it this way. It's not standard plus, so they don't know what to do.
It's true.
Also, like, if it's standard plus, like, every other deck that isn't like, everyone knows, like, how Tachi's fared, like, when Angerblader was at 4, everyone, like, 4 Angerblader. Nothing else, which always hurt me, but that's for a different time. But then it's just kind of like, hey, it's standard, it's but if it's standard plus, that's a lot more, that's a bunch of different combo pieces that people are dealing with. And, if Tsukuyomi is just kind of over there, if they're now restanding Vanguard, like, sure they get a plus like every so often, but the amount of multi-attacks that they're going to have to deal with while also maintaining their ride chain.
Quality is the games that Steven and I were playing, there were people literally like nuts.
Such a crowd.
We had a crowd because we had, the deck that a lot of people were playing, and then they had Tachi-Kaze, and they're like, what the fuck do these cards do? What are these combos? It was hilarious to watch because some people are like trying to like, what is that? How? When did Tachi do this? Like, I'm starting to regret my deck list decision a little bit.
That's why I'm saying you should have played it. Nobody knew what it did, and you could do whatever you wanted because they don't know what the main combo pieces are, right? It's like if you call it Raven Terra, which I think is an underrated card because I play that card all the time and it's so good because you get a free booster back. But usually when you call out that card against someone who doesn't know the deck, they won't kill it for whatever reason. They'll think, oh, it just doesn't really do anything, and then they'll try to retire your starter instead. When arguably that card is more value than the starter because it can be used multiple times. Well, the starter's just there like, hey, I get 2 free cards, that's all I do. I don't even shuffle the deck. I just put them to the bottom.
Bro, you gotta set up your own stack.
I can't set up a stack with just 2 cards on the bottom of my deck, Jacob.
Listen, that's why you gotta play.
So I have a funny story about Raven Terror. Do you guys know who Farouk is in the Vanguard community?
So
No.
He's a bigger name. He didn't really do much this past fall season and the spring season of that, but he's top worlds several times, and he's from Ohio, and he's a really great player, and he usually does live streams and stuff. And not this past Spring Fest season, but the one before that, 2019, I was doing a team league, and funny enough, the city I came from, we had like 20 people come from my city. My team got paired up with another team that we went there with at one point, and it got down to me and a Grand Blue player. Was it Grand Blue? No, it was DI. He was playing DI. I guess a DI player, and we were the last, and that was the match for game. Best 2 out of 3. One of my teammates lost, the other one won, and I was playing Tachi-Talk. And I bodied him with an 11 attack turn on a Dogma turn, because that was before Prima Collection. And I massacred this man with 4 Raven Pateras and just a full soul. I called Raven Patera, I think, like 6 times that turn.
Jesus.
That sounds real scary. That's
him.
really scary.
We had a crowd, because we were like one of the last matches. We had a crowd around us. Farouk, the World's Play, was live streaming it. I just felt fucking amazing. I was like, see? Tachi's still good, I promise.
It's like when I went to Richmond, I think it was a little bit before we got the I think it's actually right when we got Drachma and Megiddo and stuff like that for Fall Fest. And I was debating on playing Tachi's, and I didn't. And I played Blasters when Ganslot was real big. I think it was right when Dominate got there. Yeah, it's in that era. And there was a guy named Harry. I think he's been in the Tachi group, or he's been on Facebook or whatever. A really cool dude. He went undefeated day 1, Fall Fest. I was like, oh, damn. Oh, he's doing really, really well with Tachi's. Then day 2 started, and my first round was against Yogi, and I won that. And then second or third round was against Harry, and he was just playing really, really well. I managed to end his undefeated streak, and I was like, holy hell. I wish there was more people like him, myself, now I know Steve and Charlie, and Ginger. Like, I want to see that, like, more people trying to experiment with the deck and see what it can do. But, like, everyone's just going to stick with
Unga Bunga.
Yeah. A lot of people like the Unga Bunga playstyle, unfortunately.
Well, that's tough, because like, in my experimenting, there isn't, especially with Ganturaptor, I'm just kind of over here being like, there's not much
variety.
Well, not much writing, but also like there isn't as much wombo combo that I feel like I can do anymore, because I took Gaia out because I just never ended up utilizing its bring back feature, and B, like, we have multi-attack. We have multi-attacks and Sargo Blades that goes no zeros. Like,
So here's an interesting question to pose to you guys then. So do you think, because Gaia was a lot of combo heavy, and then once they introduced the equip gauge, it kind of became more simplistic and more random as to what's going to be retired and stuff like that. For the most part, you can see your gauge. But do you think the equip gauge was a double-edged sword where they're like, hey, let's give it a new mechanic and make this power buff, but at the same time they cut down on the combo potential because they didn't want because they were scared of what Dogma or Nebros could do simply?
I think the amount of combo potential that Tachi's had, especially in standard, went out the window the moment Raging Tactics happened. Because we've won full of combos. You know, I was the Tachi dude at locals that everyone was just like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck? You know this deck like the back of your hand. How are you doing so good? This deck's trash." And I'm just like, because I know my matchups and I know my combos. And then Raging Tactics came around and everyone was just like, "Unga bunga swing," and I'm just like, well,
because of Angerblader and Sweeper, basically. That's what we're comfortable with.
Exactly. Meanwhile, at wave 1, you got to be careful where you put the gauge. You got to be careful how much you gauge. You can't gauge everything. You know, like you got to kill you got to figure out like how you're going to kill the blind tops if you have the blind tops. You got to like maintain your resources effectively because you don't have a countercharger, and even the countercharger that we did get in standard was absolute garbage.
Hey, I texted it as a 2 of, okay? It's still a good card.
No one see BD9 you.
No.
No, Narukami counterblastinized me. So, I don't know if you were watching me, Steven, but last round of standard, I was playing against Naru, right? And this guy, he actually counterblastinized me after giving me like 1 counterblast, which I only pushed out once.
I did see that.
Yeah, and then at the end, he was like, "I actually like your playstyle because you like thought out your moves and all that, because apparently all the Tachi players he's faced has only gone Unga Bunga, hasn't thought about it, and he has not seen like countercharger at all. Like that's honestly what got me to survive so far, like that far in the game. He was almost decked out. We were both almost decked out at that point, and I survived that long. He was like, "I commend your deck choices and your playstyle." I was like, dude, other Tachi players really not play like this? Because if so, that's kind of sad, right? Since I usually play a little conservatively, unlike Josh over here, who's super reckless for whatever reason. But
Dude, that's always been my playstyle. Don't at me, bro.
But
style deck.
But yeah, it kind of saddens me to see that most Tachi players after reveal Angerblader has just only gone Unga Bunga, hasn't thought about like saving their pieces for maybe later pushes, or thought about, hey, can this person actually survive? If they don't survive, then what do I do? Since I don't put out everything first grade 3 ride, since I can usually tell if they can't survive or not. And I mean, for the most part, I'll usually push them to 5, right? I won't kill them because I know they have enough hand for it, but then I'll save a sweeper or 2 in hand if I have enough, or a Barbario. And then when I see other people play, they're just like, I'm gonna just call it 3 sweepers, leave like an Angerblader in hand, and I hope they don't die. I mean, sure, but you're gonna die as well, and since you took all the damage to get Exodia, you're more susceptible because they don't need to attack your rear guards. They just need to kill you with your like 2 or 3 cards in hand. So it's kind of saddening to see them play like that, but at the same time, it's effective, and I don't like that.
Right. That's one of the things that I taught. I made a video where it's just like, oh yeah, Gigarex isn't that bad of a card, and you know, I stand by that statement. Gigarex is a great card. You know, like great in like quotations. It's good, but like this is also at the height of like when Angerblader was at 4, and no one was playing any other grade 3. But like when you're talking about going Unga Bunga versus like conservative, why not do both? Why not like have your first grade 3 ride be like, oh hey, it's time to set up, and then when it's kill turn, go Unga Bunga.
So the problem with that I see is that for Gigarex builds, you need to have Megarex. If you do not draw into him, that turn is dead, right? The thing with Angerblader turns is that you can put on pressure, while Gigarex turns like, hey, I'm gonna set up, but I'm not gonna gain much hand advantage. I'm not gonna gain much pressure. I'm not gonna deal a lot to you. So it's more like, hey, I'm gonna deal you 1 damage off of my Vanguard. My other rear guards are gonna be weak, and I'm just gonna gauge. That's about it, right? You don't draw anything else. And through doing that, it gives your opponent an extra turn to set up their kill turn or to get more hand advantage for your Angerblader turn. I've tested this since I was trying to build hybrid for a while, and it just ended up not working. But through like playtesting it, it just gave my opponents an extra turn that they honestly did not deserve, right? Since you rode Gigarex, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna deal me a damage to your 5 gauge? That's a waste of gauge. And it,
bro, like,
yeah.
Dude, if you don't have Angerblader, then you're gonna G-assist. You're gonna G-assist and then whiff. I'd rather ride Gigarex and set up. Even like Megarex, obviously you're gonna play Megarex, and Megarex, you kill stuff, you draw a card. That's great. That is great. But bro, you gotta set up some stuff if you don't have all the combo pieces. Because otherwise you're going to attempt to apply some pressure, then you're going to be sitting there with like 2 cards in hand. Maybe.
Yeah. The other problem with that is that for Unga Bunga players, if they G-assist and go into Gigarex when they have all the combo pieces, they're going to die. Because they now have to wait for Angerblader to show up. And if they don't have any kind of draw engine, because most decks don't run Blight Tops, right? Some of them run Lace Rex, which usually aren't as there as a 4 of, unless some people really think he's necessary. I run him as a 3 of, but with those like that kind of engine in the deck, it's much better to just have 4 Angerblader and G-assist into it, because at that point, I mean, you're just gonna kill them, or else you just set up your sweeper while you stay on grade 2, or like try to buff up the other rearguard and Barbario it. Just like push damage, and then once you actually get Angerblader, you can kill them on that turn. It was kind of playing like that my first round at Anaheim against a Royals player, so I was stuck in grade 2 for like forever. But I pushed him to 5. He was actually at 5 for a while. It's just he kept gaining hand advantage because Alfred's kind of dumb with that plus. I forgot it was 5 or 10k shield to Blaster Blade, and then power to it. Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but then I was over here just like building my sweeper. My sweeper was at I think 49k when I died, and it was insane. But I kept G-assisting for Angerblader. I never got it, but if I did get Angerblader, he would have been dead. So it was more like, hey, let me set up for an Angerblader turn where I know you're dead, instead of going to Gigarex and just hoping that you have a hoping that you don't have a PG, right? It's not all that plausible. And with Angerblader, yeah, the problem there that I think most players see is that they don't want the inconsistency of going into Gigarex. Anyways, what are some cards that you think people should not play?
Some cards people shouldn't play?
Yeah, so like any unnecessary cards that people shouldn't play.
Who said Dark Arts? Fuck you.
Fuck that. I'm so playing
Dark Drag's the best card.
The Savage King. Savage King. Anybody can fight me on this. Savage King, no.
Yeah.
Even in wave 1, fuck Savage King.
Which one was? Oh.
Hey, Savage King was fine as a 1 of. Okay, if you ran him at 2, I don't know what you were doing. I guess you were hoping for some shenanigans, trading back and forth. But other than that, what?
In wave 1, it was always super fun. I played Savage King as a 1 of to make like Megarex really big, attack with they eat, a lot of power, then attack with Savage King, soak up all his gauges, attack Big Column, then attack with Death Rex last, retire him, just be like 130k to your face.
Those are good days. Highwell actually asked, why do some people choose Xandophilo over Noah sometimes? Like, what's the choice behind that decision or the reasoning?
I am one of those people who personally think Xandophilo is better than Sonic Noah for the main reason that it's not a mandatory gauge and that you can move gauges. I feel like the moving gauges is so much more valuable, especially for fixing boards and gauging early on, than it is for anything else. And then also not being mandatory helps you not deck out sometimes.
My personal take on it, actually, my deck is a little wonky, bizarre, I guess you could say. But I run both.
You added like almost every card from Wave 2 inside of it.
Yeah, but I do have Sonic Noah and Xandophilo. Grade 1s, because Xandophilo, like Steven said, you can move the gauges and whatnot and constantly get a gauge every turn. It's not mandatory. That's the key thing, is you can move the gauges wherever you need it. You don't have to put a gauge, whereas Noah is mandatory. But I like having him as a booster for the early play that I still have in my deck, which is the Rex, Tops, Noah combo. The basic, really simple one. I like having that variety. With any of my decks that I've played in Vanguard, I always like to have the option out, because there have been times where I'm playing the deck and I'm like, I wish I had this option instead of having anything at all. So I run both, but I definitely could see why Xandophilo he's more valuable, as Steven would say.
I also run both, but I like Sonic Noah as a good first ride if I'm going second, because every single time I go second, I always open Noah and Lacero tracks, and I'm always like, oh hey, catch 8. Oh hey, cool, 1 to pass. Okay, cool. If I hit it, I draw. I get 2 free cards.
Yeah, pro play.
When college, I have a story. When I was getting back from college, I needed to rebuild Tachi's because Raging Tactics came out while I was in college. And once I got the deck finished, I'm like, okay, cool. I haven't played you in a while. Let's go. Didn't open a grade 1 even after Mulligan. Top deck, Sonic Noah. Mwah, wonderful. I'm still worthy. Draw with Lacero tracks. Mwah, wonderful.
Pro play, you ride Sonic Noah and you call 2 draw triggers and swing for 10.
Oh, God.
Value.
I mean, the real pro play here with Sonic Noah is that you ride it, you call it behind the Vanguard, and then you just call a Laser at Rex and a draw trigger, and you get to retire both on hit.
Trigger's better, it puts insult to injury on the opponent, especially when they don't hit a damage trigger.
Dude, your opponent not hitting a damage trigger in Tachi's is like every Tachi player's wet dream.
Every Excel deck's fucking wet dream, are you kidding me?
Well, half of them anyways.
I mean, they hit a damage trigger, it don't matter when you got Sweeper coming in at their throat. It's like...
Yeah.
10k? That's cute. 79, have fun.
Well, when you have 8 gauges on Sweeper and then you call Roar Bios, where's your god now?
Do you have at least 2 PGs for Sweeper? No? Well, it was nice knowing you, buddy.
Yeah,
One of
so
my favorite cards got away to was Roar Bio.
Barrio is clutch.
What's up, Charlie?
So, Hyrule wants to argue that the argument that Noah's mandatory overlooks the tempo difference, since 5k, which I'm guessing is from the Xandophilo skill, if you transfer gauge or give gauge, right? The Counterblast 1 +5 that unit. Pretty sure most of you forgot about that skill because nobody really uses it. Versus an AK booster, which is Noah's, he says is net kind of important for 15k thresholds, right? It's a difference between guarding with a trigger and guarding with a heal trigger, or a normal trigger and a heal trigger. But he does say that Noah is a lot worse at second grade 3 ride and later, right? But why, like, looking at that, like the tempo difference between the two cards, why do we value Xanaphilo over Noah?
So me personally, as far as tempo, like my deck, like I said, options. Noah is there for the early game. I'm not worried about having it later on for the second grade 3 ride. When it comes to that, he's going to be card one. I'm not going to sacrifice a card in my deck when if I really wanted to sacrifice that card, put it on like Manoa behind Sweeper. That's about it. But as far as the tempo goes, like I see where you're coming from. The card value and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it's personal preference. Like I said, I like to have options just in case. So that's just me.
I would definitely agree that Xenophile and Sonic Noah are both really good grade 1 gauge slots, and either one are definitely great options. It really comes down to personal preference. Because the extra draws that Noah has can be really clutch, especially in fixing hands and finding Angerbladers. Before I got hit, well, even still now. Hey, we have one. But like, if you play Blade Ops package, I would definitely say Sonic Noah's probably better for the added on-hit pressure and the benefit of potentially getting 3 cards to your hand for a counter blast 1 and a retire.
Right.
And like early game, like riding a Sonic Noah and then calling Lastrax is awesome.
Wow.
It is. I was
Every time.
That I love doing that.
I think
Sonic calling Lastrax.
It's so good.
Basically, it comes down to, like we said, personal preference as far as you want a draw engine era 1 versus big boys and a little bit more power era 2. And if you really want to go crazy, Ginger, you can mix the two because you still want the variety. He said they both have different aims. A lot of my mentality comes from premium, where the difference is significant for it. Fair. Premium, I'll be honest, I haven't experimented too much. I'm really figuring out a consistent, a good balance between Genesis and Mega Colony. So premium Tachis, that's kind of on the back burner. So I still got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I'm just watching Charlie play testing his deck, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's an option. Okay, that's an option.
2 points I do want to bring out in terms of the Sonic Noah versus the Benefelio argument is that one thing to consider is if you have Angerblader as your Vanguard, Xenophilio is better because it's 2 gauges, where you rest, give a gauge, and then you can use Angerblader to put into the soul, to put into a gauge, and then retire a rear guard.
A soul?
No, just a gauge on boost. So it's only technically a 1 gauge unit on an Angerblader turn. And then also, Xenophilio can give gauges to his cell markers, while Sonic Noah cannot, is the other point.
Oh yeah,
He's
so
right, you know.
I know that someone in the group has tried to make like a framework for the deck, for standard at least. So what do you guys personally think that the required cards for like standard or premium need to go in the deck if you're gonna make the deck?
What card needs to be in it?
Yeah, so if there are any cards that are automatic playsets or like mandatory for the deck, what cards would you put in?
Well, Sweeper. Naturally, I think everyone can agree on that.
Unkillable grade 2 that gets power.
Yeah.
I would argue Smilodon. Smilodon's a 4 of. And that's just me, though. I don't know. I I don't know, controversial opinion. Might not.
I would.
As far as standard goes, I would say sweeper, Smilodon, because those two go hand in hand. And then I would probably say, honestly, the only other card that's a mandatory that I think would be a mandatory 4 of is Philo. Everything else can kind of be mixed, matched, and actually Megarex too. Megarex is still that consistent to draw engine that still attack, and you don't got to worry about using your counter blast or stuff like that. That's me. So I think those 4 cards: Sweeper, Smilodon as the twinsies, and then Philo and Megarex. So that's just me. I have no clue. Probably Angerblader.
Sweeper, yeah, Angerblader definitely, especially in premiums, definitely 4 of them. Sweeper and Smilodon 3 should be 4 of, and Megarex can maybe not necessarily 4 of, but definitely should be included.
Yeah, so for me, I look at it as like packages, right? Like different packages. So there is this sweeper package where it's just Sweeper and Smilodon, right? If you're to include one, you usually would include the other at like the same amount. So if you like include 3 Smilodon, you'll include 3 Sweeper, vice versa. I also see the gauge package as one thing. So Thunderphilo plus Barbario, or the reverse, Noah plus Barbario. So that's a package, right? Then like a third package could be Sonic and Lacerate Rex, though that's kind of a package I've been going away from. So I see that I don't need Noah as much, and for me it's more annoying than anything else. Yeah, that early game draw is awesome, right? That's amazing. Problem is later when I want to Angerblader, you don't get the gauge from it since it's on attack, and the only way you can do that is if you let it stay on board. But if you don't and you need the gauge for something else, you can't really give it a gauge. You just have to gauge it using Angerblader's skill, and Xanaphilo just fulfills that position because you can gauge first and then gauge itself, which is really nice. I mean, another package that I also do see as like from Wave 1, Savage King plus Death Rex, or Gigarex plus Death Rex, because those two go hand in hand. Or I mean, the whole thing could be one package, since all of those just gauge a bunch, and then one of them gets power from that gauge, and then the other one gets more power because that one thing gets bigger. So Gigarex gauges Savage King, which in turn indirectly makes Death Rex a lot more powerful. And I mean, through looking at like packages like this, you can break it down to see what cards you want in your deck. Like, what kind of thing do you want your deck to do, right? So if you want to be more aggro, you pick the more aggressive packages. If you want to be like more conservative, you pick the more conservative packages. Or I mean, you can mix them, but in doing that, you have to realize which cards you need to cut, because sometimes people like to implement the Sweeper Smilodon package in premium, right? But sometimes you don't need that Angerblader. Like, you don't need it at all. You just need to have that package in there for pressure, so that you can Nebros or whatever. But if you're just gonna go Unga Bunga, let me hope I get Angerblader, then it's not that great, because if you don't get it, what are you gonna do, right? Are you just gonna go into Nebros with no plan? Like, you're just gonna retire all your gauges with Sweeper and Smilodon, and that's it? You just gain hand? It's not that great. And I mean, even if you do get Angerblader after that Nebros turn, what are you gonna do? You just retired your package, right? The best package in the deck. So I just think that if you're gonna implement something like that into premium, you need to think about what your game plan is besides standard plus, because yes, it's consistent. It kills people in premium because premium likes to be a little slower. But the thing is with premium is that you have a lot more choices, and with these choices comes most likely better rewards. And that's what I see it as, and that's why I hate standard plus, even though it's super good. I just like my options that are being presented in premium. And with Ganturaptor coming out in that Cray core, it allows me to look at more combos. It lets me look at more endgame setups. And I mean, it's amazing. It's gone back to the complexity of Gaia, sort of.
You basically like the deck building aspect that was in G era, where like once we hit the later season of G era, there's a lot of variety as to what you could do. And premium, that's going to keep growing. I think as far as any deck goes, but Tachi's coming out with, I mean, you said Ganturaptor and the Cray core. Just one more deck idea that can potentially throw people off, because everyone just thinks, oh, Angerblader is the way to go. Then out of nowhere, you top with a freaking Cray elemental core Ganturaptor deck or something, you know? There's just, it's going to be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what everyone comes up with. Angerblader is bad in premium. Revealing an Angerblader to the opponent is amazing as it auto wins in grade 2 game. I don't know.
Also, just
Strange
like
times
just a little disclaimer on the Cray core. You kind of need 4 vanillas to have the superior ride. So, it dies to Link Joker and Gridora. That's a thing.
But you know those two are coming back. The thing about Link Joker is they're always going to have chaos, and I think that's the way people are going to go for a while, at least. I don't see Messiah doing too much in premium, at least right now. So, see. But, you know, Gridora is probably going to get a retrain, and whatever she's going to do is probably going to be disgusting. And that's going to hurt the Cray or even more, depending on what she does, because she'll have her old version, and then she'll have her new version. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, Highwell. Highwell says that Craycore doesn't die to Link Joker or Mega Colony. No, so what I'm saying is that, yeah. 40k columns turn to, yeah. So what I see with that is that I'm just saying it doesn't let you superior ride. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like it completely dies, but if they do happen, like somehow lock something right on your board, you have to ride Moark instead of drawing into it and then call for vanillas, which is kind of a problem. Because if you don't have it, then you can't. Or no, if you draw it after you ride your grade 2, I don't know, like through Lacerit Rex or something, then you can't really do the combo because you have a lock circle. Or if you somehow just don't ride up for some reason, and then so your opponent rides Gridor and locks out a column, you can't call 4 vanillas out. I'm just saying, like, that's possible. Counterplates is a superior ride. It's not that the Cray core dies, but yeah, you still get your big columns. It's just you don't get your big stuff. Zazan is pretty good with Dino Chaos. Yeah, it is. I tried it out. The problem with it was that I was retiring 2 big units just for a grade 3 ride up. Yeah, I got my refund back, but it doesn't feel that great when I can just superior ride into Barrigiran, or just generate tempo through the 2 vanilla cards that I called. So I said Dino Chaos as a meme when Ganturaptor released and with all the Cray core and all that, but practically Dino Chaos doesn't work that well.
The thing is depending on the player, that's another big factor you also have to remember, is depending on the player, and like I said earlier, Cray core can be implemented in any deck, and a smart player, so let's take like the guys who have made it to Worlds and whatnot, if they know or they have an idea that you're probably playing the Cray core, and you're going to counterblast my to deny that. It's like, okay, I'll just swing big at them. That's cool. But the thing is with Chaos and Gridora, They're the slow grind decks. That's what they sell at most. While you're pushing with numbers, sure, they are also doing the complete opposite. They are going to slow grind you to that kill point. Team that I've played Chaos and played against Chaos plenty of times, that's exactly what they're going to do. And they're like, oh, have your big boys. That's cool. Guess what? You have no other targets to call over, so you're going to call over your big boys, and now they're gone. What? And you're just sitting there with a Vanguard that can't do anything. You're like, all right, well, I'll swing with something, I guess. Gridora is not as bad. They shut down a column, sure. But, like, they aren't doing a whole lot right now. The most they've got is the Gridora Stride. It's like, oh, you can't superior call stuff. But guess what? That Tachis don't really superior call anymore right now. So we're good. So I guess Gridora's not too bad. But Chaos is the problem. Like, if you go against a Chaos player, and it's a good Chaos player, that's the thing. I'll say that is if you go against a very good Chaos player, they're not going to give you counterblast, and they're going to take the slow grind game and make sure to lock you out of or power plays. That's just how the deck runs. Like, that's just how you should play the deck. Is just constantly make sure your opponent not play the game.
Yeah, the thing I see with Dino Chaos is that you only really superior ride it if you go first. If you go second, you're basically giving them a free stride when they ride up to grade 3. Which is a problem I see here because it only applies to games where you go first. And since usually regionals and I'm guessing Worlds also was a best of 1 until top 8.
No, top 8 was still best of 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, everything's best of 1, I
remember
guess.
correctly, top 8 was still best of 1, yeah. The only time it was best 2 out of 3 was when I first, when I first played Gaia, a tournament. It's when I ran into, for those that know him, Solkage. That was best 2 out of 3 in top 8. And then regionals, which was down in Anaheim, qualified at the qualifier or whatever. You went to regionals and then you went to Worlds. That was best 2 out of 3 as well. So they've cut it down to best of 1 because it's just so easy to play a stall deck, aka Angels. At least back in the day it was, and just stall until you get to the time, and then best 2 out of 3. Guess what? It's first to deal damage, block. Or you just use Angel's example of Raphael. That's why they changed it to best of 1, for sure. They're afraid that the games are going to go too long. I mean, if you go Dino Chaos second, smart play to go against Golds, right, Charlie?
Okay, that was the only tech I had against Golds, okay? That was the only reason why my deck survived Golds is because of Dino Chaos. God. It's like, hey, no matter what, you're gonna ride up, right? You don't want to die. If they go into their stride, at least you're at grade 3 to G-Guard, which was my idea behind it. Like, you're not gonna have these useless heals in hand. You only guard for 20, or like, I think I teched in 1 effect heal, which, I mean, I got it so many times for some reason, more than the vanilla heal triggers, and I couldn't guard with it because I was on grade 2 and they were on stride, so I felt bad.
Highwell's, he's right. Best of 3 was the Time Leap / Night Rose and Luard formats. I think it was at the Time Leap format was for sure. Night Rose and Luard is when they, like, I think at the tail end of those formats is when they cut the best of 3, because I think that's when they started implementing. That's when Gavriel and OCL engine really took off, if I remember right. Memory serves. So
yeah, I think so.
That was a fun deck to go against. Not really though.
I don't know if I can transition into this, but do you guys have like any general advice on deck building for Tachi specifically? Because I know in premium, our decks always look different, right? No two decks are the same unless you net deck, but other than that, they look different. Standard now also kind of the same thing, but it's more of, hey, what can be more effective, since we haven't found a build for hybrid yet.
4 Dark Rex, whoop whoop.
I'll fight you on that, but
I'll let the other boys take it away because I'm still experimenting. So
yeah, I would definitely say for both formats to just experiment, try out the crazy ideas. Because I mean, let's face it, Touch has always been kind of one of the clans where some of the craziest ideas have been some of the best builds. Who would have thought nothing but 4 Angerbladers with 4 grade 3 would be the meta build and the meta defining build for our clan?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it too.
I think it's the essence of Boonga Boonga. And I absolutely love the glass cannon feel that it has, because I've always been more of a reckless glass cannon player, especially in premium and in G. I very much was, where I just wanted to go all out. And that's what really attracted me to Tachi-Talk at first, because it's a very aggressive deck. It can be very combo oriented. It can just be just keep throwing things at your opponent's face until they're finally dead. And then premium, there's so much to experiment. Like, you can do standard plus, which is very simple and is nice introductory into the clan. Then you can do Gaia, which is so much more combo based. The Engorge deck is so combo based, and the plays, there's so much resource management and thinking throughout your plays. How many attacks can you push out? Then you can do a combo of the two, which is what I've been testing lately, because I've been testing Gaia as a 2 of lately, and using Gaia as a finishing grade 3 Vanguard to ride into it and then finish my opponent with its stride skill for multi-attacks. But you can also do like Rex. Rex's in premium is so different, so fun. The bind mechanic, that can be a lot of fun.
also grade 2, that's hella free.
Wait.
Yes, it is.
So, I didn't know this. Spino Dark Rex was meta?
Yes.
That was meta
It
back
was meta
then?
back in the day. Yeah.
Damn, I haven't been playing long enough.
If we talk with Andrew, who's no longer in the group, he will tell you all about it.
I mean,
Well,
I
think
believe
it was
it.
probably meta. It's just not a lot of players played it. Because Dark Rex and Dino Chaos, like Dark Rex came out in the middle of fucking, what was it called? Spectral Duke era. With the Ultimate Break and stuff like that. So I think it was right in that era somewhere, and so like right beforehand, I think, briefly, and then yeah, Tachi's I don't think has seen the meta level since then. Sadly,
Obviously, the most meta we've been since then has probably been Angerblader.
Yeah.
I like
Because we
how
got
our one moment in the meta now led our boss card to getting restricted. That's fun, you know. The one time we become meta, our boss card gets restricted.
So I've seen other people comment on restriction, and of course, I'm also very biased, but I'll say it was a very unfair restriction. They shouldn't have hit Angerblader to 2, for one of the main reasons being we literally have only 2 VRs to play. And Angerblader was only our only win condition card. Everything else is kind of just like you keep hitting your opponent until they're dead. Angerblader was the first card in standard where it was like, this is what you want to use to kill your opponent.
It was a finisher, basically.
Yeah, it was our first legit finisher. I mean, them restricting to 1 was way too harsh. They should have at least done to 2, or not restricted and restricted sweeper, or did a choice restriction of sweeper or Angerblader.
The thing, my counter argument against that is, I understand that Savage unit is killable, but the problem is that I find is you're still having essentially a sweeper with the Savage unit. So if you choose choice restriction, you have Sweeper. Okay, cool. Choose Sweeper, you got Gigarex, you got big numbers. That doesn't do enough with, it's pretty much an all crit build at that point. So you're trying to sack your opponent while also relying on the random gauge from Gigarex or other units. All right. Then it comes down to, I'll take Angerblader
With no Sweeper.
to build with a restander still. You can kill it with retire skills, so that makes it more balanced. But the problem is it's still just this Exodia type deck that you just focus on putting the gauges on the grade 1 instead of a grade 2. So pretty much what it's going to come down to is, what are we going to get in next set? They may unrestrict Angerblader, or maybe they'll bump it up to 2 or something like that to make it a little bit more fair. Because now that's what they're going to be looking at. Fully. Butcher Road tends to not look at their R&D department and see what previous stuff they have. But it all depends on what comes out in the next support, because what comes out could be like, oh yeah, we'll unrestrict Angerbladers so that way Tachi's can keep up with the meta again or something. Or it could make sure that Angerblader never comes back. Back up to 4, I should say, which would suck.
Another argument for against this restriction, because we're not getting any support until at the earliest, like September. Maybe. Most likely October.
The thing is, in Japan, you have to keep that in mind because the sets keep getting pushed back because of the Steve Carino virus. So
exactly. So Tachi's aren't getting support for so long, and there's so much more content in between Raging Tactics and Tachi's next wave of support that we really needed Angerblader to stay somewhat relevant as a rogue choice, to stay meta relevant. Them killing Angerblader like that down to 1 makes it so we're very unplayable in standard now.
yeah,
Pro
I
tip,
think
make budget decks like me and win. I won with budget Agravain a couple of tournaments. I don't know how, but I got first with budget Agravain, beating a fully built Agravain. So, I don't know.
You got the top deck calls of everything you needed to win. Somehow. No one else could make it work. Charlie was the one that made it work. It's like, what the fuck? This is a budget build. Maybe not.
Okay, to be fair, our friend Dawson, he was the one playing the fully built Agravain. He healed first, and then I healed. Okay, there's nothing else. I just won because I healed at the correct time. But like, we both healed on 6 damage. That's all I have to say.
6 day. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. Because next, what is it, 2 sets? I mean, we still haven't gotten the damn next stage and Royal set and no Nectar. We don't know what Kagura's gonna do. And we don't know what Grand Blue, Regulage. We have no idea how that's going to affect everything. If Tachi, like Bushroad sees that, oh hey, maybe we do need another Excel deck to, catch up again, try to balance everything out. Like maybe then we'll see Angerblader come back to 4. But until then, it's like, for whatever reason, they decided to just let Avon and Vanquisher just run everything over. So who knows? We'll see. They make it banless, right? Eventually restrict them, but I doubt it.
I mean, my proposal for like the ban list, if I were to do anything with the card, is honestly just to errata it to where you need like a grade 2 or not a grade 2, a grade 3 or more, like 1 or 2 grade 3s in Soul to actually use this restand skill, because I think that's a lot more fair and gives time to the opponent. And that also justifies running any other grade 3 in the deck, right? You're not just going to write Angerblader twice, because it's a dead card, basically. So you'll run, like, Gigarex and Anger.
The big Unga Bunga play, and I've seen you do it, Charlie, is you do ride Angerblader, play Sweeper, maybe a second one if you want to, and then you play the Cat. It's like, okay, cool. And then you just dump your hand to pull the gauge, because at that point you have your kill turn, you have your win condition. So what they could do is they could make take a card from rear guard and shove it into the gauge per turn. You can't just hard shove to get that restand guaranteed. You can do that. That way, you still have a way to push. They don't have, oh, I draw my hand because my numbers are bigger than yours. No, it is an option. After that, I don't know what they could do. So
I want some fine defense. That's what I want. That is all.
Bring back full fire Elk and Gaia. That's honestly the only defensive play we have. Just like 16k base, Gaia with GB2.
She's justification on restriction was that it board wipes for free, by the way, not the restand. Yeah. Because the nuking they thought was pretty strong, but the restand became the issue because of nuking, because you're able to just drop cards and put them into put them into gauge so quickly. That's really where the issue lies. Maybe if they made that once per turn where you can't just drop your whole hand and you got to be like, okay, I have to hope I actually need Thunderfield, I need Noah or something like that. I need cards to actually put into the gauge. Get it. I think that would be better.
Bring back white top searching grade zeros to hand. I mean, honestly, I think that's what we're going down. Bring back the draw engine again. In standard, at least. I can see why people would run in premium, but for me personally, I don't run it. Just because you gain enough advantage already, but at the same time, I'm running the Cray core, which is already a lot of advantage, so I don't really need blight tops. I guess
I need a skedaddle because I have some work that I need to get done.
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
But it was a pleasure being with all of you on this.
Yes, you as well, Gingy.
All right. Have a great day.
Better.
Yeah, later.
Au revoir.
So you said there was a Q&A you were trying to do, Charlie, or is that what we're in the middle of?
Yeah, so I was gonna start it, and then he was like, I gotta go. But, I mean, you two, you're world players. You guys made it to Worlds. Josh, you took my Tachi deck with you, and then happened not to play it.
Against you.
Okay, well, not in the actual tournament. But, how was Worlds? How was Worlds for you guys? Like, what was the experience you guys went through?
So, I guess I'll start. My Worlds experience was amazing. The funny part is I was excited to go to Worlds because I was like, yes, I'm at that level that I know I can reach. But on the opposite end, I was like, I'm in Japan. I'm more excited to fucking go explore, honestly. The actual Worlds experience was really good. There was a lot of really cool players, a lot of really nice people that I met, Steven being one of them. And it was nice. Steven can Worlds did take a little bit to start because I think they were trying to figure something out. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But it was the live stream. Okay, but it wasn't. Is it weird for me to say that, like, as excited as I was for Worlds, I was like, just more excited to kind of be in that environment with the high level players. I wasn't aiming to go for the top. I was just like there to learn. And I think that's kind of a good mindset to go in with Worlds or any tournament, is to learn and to kind of better yourself as a player. So Worlds was good. I want to go again, but the way it's looking, I don't think we're gonna have that option. Sadly.
Josh, just become my guardian when I go. Okay, it's free.
What?
Just become my guardian when I go. I mean, your trip will be paid for.
I mean, sure, I'll do it. But like, here, you stay here at Worlds. I'll come home, see you in a couple hours. I'm gonna go check out the card shop. I'll pass it off to Steven now. It was his World experience.
So my World experience was very similar, where I was so excited to go to Worlds because I never really imagined I was going to be able to do it. I qualified at BCS Anaheim, past Fall Fest, in second place. And going to any tournament, like you said, you should always go with the mindset, you should always be wanting to learn more. How can you better yourself as a player? Because there's always going to be people better than you. Always. There's always someone who's going to be above you. And how I always got into tournaments was, how can I better myself for the next time? And going into, especially Anaheim, I was very sick. I had a massive ear infection. Couldn't hear out the right side of my ears. It was awful, if you remember that, Charlie. Well, then,
yeah, that was pretty bad.
Winning because gold was OP. That was awful. I can't tell you how many times I tell my opponent, like, could you repeat that? They leaned towards them, but I thought it was so fucking weirdo. But like qualifying, the big thing was like getting money together for it. And then the trip itself I took by myself, which was a little awkward.
It's weird.
But I met great players there, like Josh here. Josh, people I knew from, and people I met at Anaheim that I qualified with, people I've seen around other tournaments before, the big names that everyone knows. And Japan itself is just a great experience. I was so excited to qualify for Worlds, and like you said, you're on all these strong players, and you know, like I myself was now considered a strong player, I guess, for being able to go to Worlds.
And reach that level.
And it's kind of weird to think about that. And Japan was great. The card shops there were so nice. The people was amazing. The tournament itself was all right. I didn't think I was going to do amazing. I just wanted to play in the tournament. And then I scrubbed dog at like 32nd or something. I went 3-3. What was my final record? It was 3-3.
I went 2-3.
Well, it doesn't help that two of my wins were people who didn't show up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Shit.
So I really only played 4 games, which I lost 3.
We'll say, though, I can interject. What's weird is my Worlds experience. It wasn't as fun as my regional experience, I think, which is really bizarre. That was my regional experience was right before the OTT Jamio Congo Bermuda restriction shenanigans that happened. And what's weird is like that's where most of my best games were, like, against OTT, against I guess if you want to call Body Emperor Bermuda player my best game. The match was fun, me anyway. And then faced a friend of mine, Sergio. He's a good Golds player. He went to Worlds, I think, the previous year. I got to face him twice. Beat me before top 8, and then I beat him in top 8. Then I fought who I believe his username is Hydro John, I believe. He's a really good player. I'm dead to rights. I was so confident. I was like, I got this. I can do it. And he had no cards in hand, pushed to 5 damage, and he top decks a grade 3. I'm like, all right. And this is where I can't stress it enough. You're in that type of situation. You're in that moment. Read the cards. Because when he said that Dungeon restand every time you use a PG or a G Guardian, I was like, oh, that sucks. I even looked over the card, but I didn't notice something. It says once per fucking turn. You can't do it more than once. I got to Worlds and I was like, hey, Dom, so what does Dungeon say? And he was like, oh, it can restand every time you drop a G Guardian or a PG. I'm like, yeah. It also says once per turn. He's like, huh? And I pulled it up on my phone. I pulled it up on the app and I was like, look. And he's like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, I it was good. Those are the type of things, as far as the World's experience, that's what I want. You know, regionals, Worlds, kind of all go hand in hand and all made it leaking. So
I'll say, going off your story there, if there's any advice to anybody who listens to this that we can part on you, is read your card. I don't care if you have played that same card 500 times that day, you double check that. Because I have seen people get dequalified or just lose because they don't read their cards, or because they're just going so fast their plays, they just accidentally forget about something. Read your cards. That was one mistake I've made before, is forgetting about a certain skill of like an opponent's unit that I thought I know like the back of my hand, then it kills me. Always read your cards.
Yeah, especially Ganturaptor's first skill, when I started playtesting it, I thought it was the first rearguard that you call from hand, then I realized, wait, we changed the once per turn clause. You can do it to any rearguard just once that turn. I was like, oh, so I can call Smilodon first.
Yes.
Yeah,
explains the card. Yes, exactly. Can't stress the how many times it's like with Dom, like, oh, that might have actually changed the situation. I might have been able to win if I read the fucking card instead of a numpty where I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm just dead. I'll just what happens. Read the card.
I thought you know what the card was, because when we were discussing this match back at our locals, I said, you know what, you like use the G guard or PG to restance -1 drive, right? You said yeah, and then I said, you know it's once per turn, right? And you said no.
I totally fucking spaced about Dungeon. That was the thing. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh wait, that's right. That's a card. It does that. What's the next question you got?
I mean, what did you two play?
So, regionals, I played Cameo Renee. I was just, I'm proud of it. I love that deck. That was so much fun, especially the Bermuda player. He was like, oh, Bermuda player was probably my second favorite match other than the OTT match. Where the Bermuda player was at like 3 cards in hand, or was it 3? No, he had 3 cards on board, 4 cards in hand, and I strode Renee, went to bird, bounced the 3 cards on his board, so he had 7 cards in hand, and he had to go down to 2, and then I used Renee's skill, and he just had to take the 4 damage because they also had 2 crit, and he was just like, oh, that sucks. It's like, I'm so sorry, dude. But like I said, the OTT matchup was against a buddy of mine. him a couple years back. Logan, he is a amazing Spike Brothers player, and he played the OTT thing with Ichikishima before it was banned. And that match lasted the whole 20-25 minutes that they had. And there were people walking over, and we were just trying to figure it out. We were just playing very carefully. And like this last point where I stride, I'm like, okay, let's just see what happens. And he's got a few cards in hand, and then he looks at me and he smiles and he's like, I have no more heals left, I can't survive. He reveals his hand. I'm like, oh, and I attack, and it was a great, that was the match for that weekend, hands down. And then when I went to Worlds, I played a quote unquote spicy new Batampa build that did not work as well as I planned, but I mean that's how it goes. Where the main goal of the deck was to go into a Kuro and use their Vanguard to swing, attack the rear guards, and then when a rear guard is retired, there was a grade 2 that says when a dominating unit attack hits, opponent discards 1 when you retire this grade 2. My plan was retire their board and discard while they're on the jamming engine. So they discard the however many cards just basically give me open attacks. The funny part is I never use that engine to win. He's a Gridora player I literally just beat down, and then the Spice player decked him out. So yeah, the idea of the deck just didn't work. So, your turn.
Yeah, I just want to interject. I remember you play testing that deck against me, and you didn't get it all that often. I just saw the cards and I was like, "You're not gonna get this, you know that, right?" And you said, "Screw it, it's a cheese. I'm gonna play it."
I had faith, and my faith was betrayed.
Anyways, yeah, Steven, go ahead.
So I qualified at BCS Anaheim, and I played Gold Paladins for both Anaheim and Worlds because I personally love Gold Paladins. Not as much as I love Tachikaze, but Gold Paladins is always a great second main clan for me. And I took Gold Paladins there, played a very standard list, a very standard Kevin Cho list that became the template for Gold Paladins. And I went X1 in Swiss. I just bodied people all day. One of my favorite all-time wins was against a Vision player, round 5, playing fucking Chrono Jet, this mad lad, playing Chrono Jet still, on Vision. I compared against him. I get to go first, and I high roll with my superior ride, and I draw into all 4 Wonder Essels in one turn. I'm just
this mad lad.
I'm so sorry.
This mad lad.
This is bad. But my only loss in Swiss was against a Neo Nectar player. He couldn't strike. He rolled grade 3 and then couldn't strike because he drew all triggers. So he attacks my Vanguard. I'm at 3 damage. I was like, and because he put the force 2 mark on the rear guard, I was like, no guard because I'm at 3 damage. And he double crits me. I was like, oh, okay. And that was my only loss. Then I qualified for top 8. Going to top 8, going against the Gold Mirror, first round, not really surprising. I bodied this man because I decided to meme on him. And I rolled OG Raven-Haired Ezel, which says your opponent can only, Limit Break 5, your opponent can only guard with grade 1s for the turn.
Fucking hate that.
And then went into Ultima by discarding V Raven-Haired and killed him Ultima. Why? He can only use grade 1s to guard from hand. So he only used grade 1s and G guard to guard Ultima.
That was the play. That was the OTK.
It was so mean, but he gave it to me, and I was like, I'm gonna stab you. Then second round of top 8, I went against Gridora, which was very scary because I never have seen the deck in years. I was very, very worried about losing to it. But the problem with Gridora, it doesn't do much. like we said earlier, it's all defense and nothing more. So he kept stunning me with the premium collection Ghidorah stride, but I still had like 16 cards in hand, so I was never scared. The attacks he were doing weren't doing anything to me, and then eventually he stopped locking me, and then he went to the stride that said that he draws a card for every rested rear guard I had. He drew cards. I had like 6 Assault Circles at that point.
Overwhelm.
Yeah, overwhelmed. And then next time I just went to Ultima and killed him because even though he had like 12 cards in the hand, he had all normal units in his hand. No PGs.
That's some bad draw.
1 G guard, and I had 6 Assault Circles. And I was just like, this doesn't even seem fair. So, and then going to second place, I went against Nikki Goldman, one of the best DI players there is. I bricked. I did not open up my Superior Ride engine. I just had a Ride 1 Drizzle and attack a grade 2 turn, and it was a very sad day. It was very sad. And he opened up a lot better than me. He opened up the Killatail and Emblem Master combo, and he just massacred me. But I was fine with that. I still got second place with Gold Paladins. That deck I never really thought I would get second place with. And then so I went to Worlds, fucking sold my body to go to Worlds. Went there, took golds. I qualified with golds. I felt only right. I had to participate with golds. Round 1, didn't have an opponent. They were a no-show. I remember sitting down, them not showing up. I was like, okay. I called the judge over. I was like, I don't think I have an opponent. And so they said, give me 5 minutes, and they'll show up. I could win. I look to my right. I just see Luard versus Gize fucking Mega Colony. I was like, oh my god, that's a Gize. And then going around 2, going against Neo Nectar, which this was a little bit of friendly fire. One of the Vision players, Dio. I hung out with him quite a bit in Japan. He's a really cool guy. Shout out to him if anyone hears this and knows him. Really cool guy. And because we were playtesting before the tournament, I was talking about how it would suck if we had a friendly fire, and then it happens. I got paired up against him. I savaged that poor man. I opened up the holy trinity of being able to double spear and going first. I know we got 1 Rezzles, and he died on my first stride. And then round 3, I go against another Neo Nectar player who just utterly destroys me because I saw 1 grade 3 the entire game. And then on my last stride turn, my drive check was stride grade 3, grade 3, grade 3, 2 Platinas and a Raven. I was like, oh, I own 12 copies of grade 3s, and I only see them on drive checks on my last stride turn. Okay. Then round 4. What did I go against round 4? I'll go against the Gold Mirror. That was awful. Because I bricked and didn't get a grade 2. I had a G assist 3 times for grade 2 on grade 1. And didn't get it. He just kills me. Round 5. Round 5 I go against Itchy Tom. Who, his first stride, he triple crits me. When I no-guarded his Vanguard, because I had like 1 damage. Oh, no, I had 2 damage. And he triple crits me. It was very sad times for me. Very sad times. I blew his Vanguard. And then round 6, I didn't have an opponent. So I ended 3-3, but I definitely will say just the experience of meeting all the awesome players, going to Japan, seeing the card shops there, buying my foil Tachi starter was definitely the highlight of it, and I hope I qualify again to go back.
Yeah. So let's see. I didn't have that many questions for this session, at least like the world session. What was your plan going into Worlds? Like, was there anything you're scared of? Anything you're trying to prepare for?
For me, since I was playing Gold Paladins, was the mirror match. The mirror match is just such a coin toss. That and going against something like Gize, I knew can be an awkward matchup. Off meta options like Itchy Tom that we saw a little bit of. Neonectars, I'm really Golds should almost always win that matchup unless you brick like I did. DI, DI is kind of a toss-up. It depends on if you get good early game aggression, then you'll win. If they can stride, though, they might just kill you. For me, it was really just about keeping it cool mindset because I already did months of playtesting leading up to Anaheim and then leading up to Worlds. I always felt confident in what I knew and how to play. And it was really just relaxing and make sure I was in a healthy mindset for the tournament to not let bad luck get the better side of me. Because that was one thing that you cannot let happen to is get discouraged early on because Vanguard's all about luck. You're going to get trigger sacked. You're going to brick. It's going to happen. But how you carry yourself is what really matters in the tournament and lasting a tournament. You have to really just go in with a healthy mindset of shit's going to happen. You just have to roll with it and make the best of it. And if you don't win because your opponent double or triple crits you, then you don't win. There's nothing you do about that. Only worry about how you can always make the best plays with what you're given. What I always worried about.
I was just worried about the DI and Golds matchup because no one in our locals plays those decks. So it's difficult to really play test and kind of decks, figure out what I need to do. But once I got to Japan, I was like, you know what? Taking a mean, what happens. Just kind of going with the flow. So that's pretty much it. I wasn't worried about it too much.
One thing I forgot to mention here is that for me is I don't have a locals anywhere near me. The closest locals is like 2 hours away. So going to Worlds, I had not played. Going to Anaheim 1 month before Worlds was the first time I actually played Vanguard with actual cards, not online, in about 6 months. And it's definitely a lot different experience because if you ever played Card Fight Area, you know the shuffling algorithm that is god awful.
Turbo.
Yeah. And just it in general is so different and how people play it is so different. And so going into it was that definitely was a lot harder personally for me because I don't have locals to test at or anyone to test with out here. Because where I live at, I don't have any because I'm a loner, I don't have any friends. I definitely made it a lot different for me, but Card Fight Area is a love of mine.
I honestly thought you did have a locals around you, and I thought that you were just going on CFA because you loved Vanguard.
No, I actually just don't have locals. The closest locals is about 2 hours from me.
Well, then, if any of you are in the Discord, hit this man up if you want to play CFA, I guess.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm definitely going to be play testing because with Neonectars and Golds really out of the meta, those were our two biggest contenders to keeping Tachis from rising up because of the early game. The early game just outpaces ours. And so I definitely feel like going to this new season, Tachis are at an all-time high doing a better choice. I mean, they did win fucking, what was it, like BCS London or something, or top 4 London and premium for Tachis.
Also Texas.
Basketball season.
Yeah.
I believe it was also Texas that we got topped.
Yeah, Texas too. So it was like, even back then, when Golds and Neos were at full Rampage, they were still able to contend. Now with them fully gone, well, Golds are still kind of there, but Neonectars definitely, they're dead. I definitely think this is the time for premium Tachis to really shine, and for good players to be able to just sweep a tournament with it.
So you run into a chaos player.
Yeah. Okay, one of my rounds, I honestly, I thought I ran into a chaos player because this guy had the same mat as the chaos player that I saw, and then he had like the same glasses. So I thought, wait, this is chaos, right? He flips over Tsukiyomi. I'm like, easy matchup. And then all my grade 3s go to my damage zone.
Oh,
Oh, Hywell, you're the one that got third at London? Hey. Yeah. He says that Neo Nectar isn't a bad matchup for Tachi's. And he says it's actually favored for Tachi's. I do agree with that, since in my playtesting, I know, Steven, you saw me play against Brandon. The Neo Nectar player play like casually round 1 or 2 in premium. But it is slightly favored in Tachi's just because of like their pressure. It's there, but it's not as prevalent as you think it is. And if you just take the damage, I mean, that's fine. You just save hand, right? And if you happen to stride first, they're done for. Like, they can't do anything about that. Like, sure, they can get a bunch of damage triggers, but you're still gonna remove their hand for the most part. And Katrina's not that great if you don't use G guards, since Nebros can retire still. We have all the other cards that retire, or you just go into Angerblader and kill their board. So I do agree with Hywell here that Neo Nectar is actually, it's a favored matchup for Tachi's if you play the deck right, at least. Early game is the most important part, dictating who wins, because if you take too much damage or you let them do too much during the early game, then they're gonna win, right? But if you don't allow a lot of that, then you're gonna win.
that's very true. I can see that. Like, we don't have to worry about it ever again. No, maybe you're on to Bloom, but that's Bloom. If you lose to Bloom, you should sell your cards.
Was there a time in tournaments where seeing a clan caught you off guard?
Yeah. Funny enough, it didn't happen to me, but it was my buddy, a very good friend, David. He was playing Token Rambu, and I was like, all right, let's see what you do, bud. And he bodied every King Link Joker player he went up against. I was like, dude, you're gonna make it. And I think he was just shy of making the top 8, I think. I was like, damn. Oh man. Back in the day, dude, Token Rambo, I was like, all right, I mean, cool.
I will say at BCS Anaheim, when I got paired against the Vision player playing Chrono Jet, that really threw me off guard. I was like, holy fuck, people still like this play, people are still playing this clan? And when I was at World, seeing Gize being played, I was like, god damn, that's scary.
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect for Gridora Gize to be specific to show up at Worlds. I mean, stuff like Luard, that was in attendance.
Fuck, those fucking Gridora players. Really?
Probably all 2 of them.
Yeah, all 2 of them.
Just get paired up against. It was very shocking to see Gize, especially with like Luard being someone in the meta, which is a direct counter, and Neo Nectar being someone in the meta, which is also another direct counter. I'm very surprising.
I think Giza is always going to be somewhere in there, just because people are like, oh, it'll throw people off.
Oh, and Gold is a counter to Gize, because, hey, you don't have damage triggers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Giza is definitely not as terrifying as he was back in the early Angels.
oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember Angel. Oh.
Rescue checks. So good.
So this is more of like a personal question. So you guys know how I keep scrubbing out because of bad luck, right? So what would you say to like players like that, where they have the potential to top 8, but they can't get into top 8 because of bad luck?
You have to just keep trying. That's all there is to it, is just you keep trying. Because that's how my first regional, I've only been to 2 regionals, for solos. That was Chicago of 2018 BCS, right? No, Chicago of 2019 Fall Fest, and then Anaheim of 2019 Fall Fest. Those are the 2 regions I've went to. Before that is the Spring Fest. And I got 10th place at Chicago with golds. And I was so upset because I lost to bricking, specifically against a Luard player who went on to take first place, Karen, who bricked his Luard, who did not draw it. He damage checked 3 Luard and was stuck on grade 2 for 2 turns before he top decked. Even Gia says he top decked the Luard. And then I died because I could not draw into a grade 3 and I could not superior ride. And I was like, I literally play like fucking 12 of these.
My thing is the second big tournament that I entered. The first one was, like I said, when Ultimate Break was a thing, and I didn't enter any like regionals or anything for a while until Gaia's first year of support, when it was just Gaia, Dogma, and the Stride, the Fighters Collection or whatever it was that year, the big purple dinosaur. I went in basically thinking, oh, this is going to be fun, see how well I do. And one of my matches I remember specifically was against Mega Colony. And I was either stuck on grade 1 or 2, something like that. And I could not get a grade 3. I was like, I'm going to lose this. I can't bounce back from this. And I finally got to grade 3 when I was at like 4 or 5 damage or something like that. And he, instead of going with the smart play, because that was the time when I believe they had Obutarandis and something else. He went into the something else. Didn't go into Obutarandis. Which I was like, okay. I got my first stride. His turn came around. He was thinking about it. He was like, should I go into Obutarandis or should I go into this? And I was about to put Obutarandis on the Vanguard thing for stride. And I'm like, I'll be able to do anything next turn. I'm probably dead. And he goes into the other unit. And I was like, oh. And my turn comes around. And I stride into Dogma and I win. I was like, I should not have won that. Like my whole mindset throughout that whole match was no way. So basically the moral of the story is, for players that have some bad luck, that's just how it goes. Not everything is going to go 100% the way you want it, because there's some random factors that you just can't account for, unfortunately. Just have a little bit of faith in yourself and believe that, and basically you take the game, and this is the mindset, like I said, beginning of this podcast, I said, go into premium, because now we're in 2 formats, so it's very different. Go into standard, it's going to be simple. There's going to be a lot of, basic stuff, trigger sacking that's more prevalent. Premium, however, you go with the mindset that there's going to be some BS. There's going to be some crazy shenanigans that are just going to throw you for a loop. Literally. So pretty much, just take a second. If you're having a bad match, and you've heard probably other YouTubers, names say this, find something when you go to a tournament, if you have a loss or if you're having a bad game, find something to take your mind off of it, to clear your head. One of the things that helps me is doing trades, not even buying anything, just going to look at the vendors to see what they have to offer. And I'll do it multiple times, even though I've seen what they have. Do that, interact with some people. If you're at a big venue, just step outside, take a breath, obviously stay hydrated and all that jazz. Take a breath and just kind of clear your head. And just go into the mindset of the next match being like, okay, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna shuffle really as well as I can. I'm gonna do the best I can in this matchup. See what happens. And one thing you can do when you're starting a match, something that I kind of do, is you try to, and it doesn't work all the time, I will say that. But when you start a match, you flip up the starters, you whatever, shake your opponent's hand or you say good luck. Look at the starter before, like if you're going first and you take a second, because you do have time, don't stall or anything like that. Just take a second. Feel like, okay, what's my game plan for this matchup? How am I going to play this matchup? Play to your game plan for that matchup specifically. You know the matchup, or if you have an idea of the matchup, play to that matchup, play to your game plan, and do the best you can, because at the end of the game, if you lose or win, you can evaluate yourself and be like, okay, I won. How could I have made that go smoother in my favor? Make the win quicker, or if you lost, how could you have made that win happen for you? So just bad luck is always going to be a thing. No matter who you are, no matter how good of a player you are, you're always going to have there's always going to be a little bit of bad luck somewhere throughout your tournament. So you just don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Don't think about it, because the more you think about it, the more you're bringing on yourself and you're going to get tilted and all that. It's not worth it. So just go in with the mindset, clear your head. If you have a rough game, find something to distract yourself and go in with the next game. Be like, all right, I'm going to do the best I can. So that's what I can offer. I've been to several tournaments, and can't tell you, there have been some tournaments where I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is it's not a good mindset to get in. Then you're getting tilted and you're going to throw yourself off for the rest of the day, and you're like, okay, well, you have to blame yourself.
I will agree with all that. And one last thing I'll add there is that one thing me and my friend groups have always done when playtesting is, for standard, it's pretty obvious what to do it as, but for premium, it really depends on your deck. Is always playtest when you're playtesting with your friends, with your group. Always playtest, unless you're doing casual, but if you're playtesting for a tournament, to who goes first is your least favorite matchup. If you want to go second, always play test going first. If you want to go first, always play test going second. Always, because if you can win while not starting out in the best conditions, then you can definitely win while starting in the best conditions. That was one thing I found when I did heavy play testing going into Anaheim that I thought really benefited me, was I always play tested wanting to go second. Because I know I'm not always going to go first. I know if I go first, I have a good chance of winning. But when I go second, when it's more of an uphill battle. So if I'm always ready and I always know how to play against matchups when I'm already going second, I found it made the games easier going into the regional days when I lost the coin toss or the dice roll. Especially in mirror matches, I always prefer to go second. And standard, I always try to play test going second, because you're not always gonna win the dice roll, fortunately.
That's
And also, just like telling yourself, if you get a crit trigger, or if you drive triggers on your opponent, always ask yourself, did that trigger matter? When you win a turn, you say, did my drive checks matter that turn? Could I have won if I saw all normal units or not?
That's actually another thing. Some people get discouraged when they see a mirror match. Don't stress it. Play the best you can.
Yes.
Play the deck like you know how to play it. Don't try to copy your opponent. Don't try to just be off the wall. If it's a mirror match, don't stress it and just take your time with it, and it's not a race. really anyway. It's not a race to see, to push your opponent to 6. It's a race to see who has better control of the deck. There's only so much you can do with that when it's Vanguard, when there's so much RNG. So don't stress about mirror matches. And those are definitely where more skill in a way comes out, because you're like, okay, I know what my deck does. He knows what my deck does. You got to figure out how we're going to play around each other. Who's going to get to go off first? So don't stress about your matches.
Yeah, those seem like really good points.
Any other questions, Charlie?
I mean, the chat might. I was planning to have like a chat Q&A after, but I guess we've been doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
But I also want to bring like Highwell here. He also says it's worth playtesting the opponent being bad, because sometimes they do something weird you don't expect it, and you just lose because of that. I mean, some cases. Oh yeah, that man! I swear. So there's stuff like weird deck choices that might throw you off. There might be like weird plays that you didn't think were possible that could throw you off and you didn't know about it. An example.
Something that I tend to notice, because it happened at locals. My track record at locals isn't the best, but when it comes to like regionals and stuff like that, I seem to be doing fine. Knock on wood.
Yeah, mine's the opposite. I good at locals, bad at regionals.
The thing is at locals, use that as a learning experience if you can, or online. I mean, it's CFA, so there's only so much you can take from that. But if one thing you can always do, and this is an obvious thing actually, is count your opponent's triggers. Keep an eye on like how many triggers do they hit. What's the chances of them actually hitting something? If you're at 3 damage and you have that gut feeling that they might hit a double crit, PG it. Do not take it and be like, oh, I had the PG, I had the way to stop it, and I died. Then you really are starting to beat yourself up. I can't tell you how many players I've seen where I had the PG, I had the G guard, I could have protected against the Vanguard. Then you should have. Granted, there are some times where you're like, they hit a crit, will push me to 5 or whatever, or I'll gladly take the damage. I'll be able to do something with it. But at that point, when you're at regionals, if you want to do well, then try to guard it. If you can guard it, guard it. Because you know the Vanguard is going to have those drive checks. You know the Vanguard is going to have those skills. And Vanguard, anything can happen. You can go from 1 to 6 in an instant, especially in premium.
Artilleryman loop.
Why is man?
Also, Josh, almost every time we play test, or like just everybody else at locals, they'll put triggers on their Vanguard when I say 2 to pass, and almost every time they get it.
Oh, I know. It's weird, dude.
Bro.
To go for the 2 to pass. If it's gonna kill them, especially in the best of 1 format.
Steven, I want
to. If they 2 to pass, if my first trigger is a trigger, you bet your fucking ass I'm putting that on the Vanguard.
Dude, I don't know if you can hear him, Charlie, but you might want to reset your mic.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're in a tunnel. Very, very tiny tunnel.
You sound a bit robotic. But, yeah, it's the only way the opponent feels they can win, they will put everything on Vanguard. Yeah, except whenever I play against Josh, I'm at 1, right? He's on 1 crit. He'll just like double crit me when I say 2 to pass, even though I don't know, he just feels like it. And then I'm over at 4 already.
It's like, fuck it, 2 to pass. All right, you're lost, buddy. Oh, I only hit 1 trigger. Damn.
There were definitely times where I had a 12-card hand and lost because I decided to no guard when I clearly could. Yeah, those things happen too, where you just have a big hand and you think, oh, I'm safe, right? I have a lot of cards in hand. They can't kill me at this position. Then they just happen to crit you out.
big tournament is know the decks. Research and know not just your decks that you're going to go here against, know the meta decks. Know the rogue options. Because rogue options are what going to kill you if you learn nothing but the meta.
Steven, what's wrong with your
Research the problem in that format is if you know them, at least somewhat decent, if you can play the deck confidently, and you know how to play against it confidently. That's one thing I always love, trying to learn new decks. Lately, I've been playtesting a lot of DI, and actually just picked up DI Premium. I've been liking it a lot. It's really fun. But I did that because I know it's going to be one of the meta decks going fest, and I know I need.
Steven, what'd you do to your mic?
I smoke crack.
Okay.
As a drug dealer, I confirm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid advice.
Anything else, Charlie?
Your mic sounds a lot better now. Whoa. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess at this point we're just looking at chat.
I'd rather play it safe. As much as I've said that, kind of the off the wall, predictable is my favorite play style. If you're able to play it safe, because there's a lot of players lost because either double crit or just took the damage because they didn't read the card or something, and you lose the match. If you lose the match, you can be like, okay, I could have guarded it, even though saving cards in hand is good. Just sometimes it's not worth taking that risk, no matter how badly you need that counterblast or you need a skill to go off. Sometimes it's not worth it to take a hit and take the risk of getting crit sacked, because then you don't get to bounce back, you don't get to try and win, lose.
Yes.
So,
and a best of one format, don't be scared to play it safe.
And also, best of one, that's really where it comes in, is best of one.
Yeah.
If this was the best of three format, the advice would be a lot different, but best of one is so much more different.
Yeah. Stefan in chat asks, do you think Tachi's is treated fairly compared to Kagura or Mega Colony? And then Hywell's like, Mega Colony is possibly the worst clan in the game. But what do you think?
No. Token Rambu is.
Okay, that clan is dead. We don't talk about it.
Exactly.
But what do you think, like, support for it compared to Kagura Omegas?
I think it's been, personally, Toshikazu's been treated, it's always been, like, as far as I can remember, Toshikazu has always been, I guess as I will put it, fine. Mega Colony is a prime example. They don't know what they want to do with the clan right now. As much as I love it, I love Gridora, I love Mill Engine, it's like they're scared. They're in the new Atama situation again, where they're scared to experiment with the deck because they know as soon as one thing comes out, if they aren't careful with that support, it could push the clan over the edge. That's why new Atama.
That's what we saw with Tachi-Talk.
So long. Yeah. If you look at new Atama in set 1, they had that discard engine. It was so strong. And they didn't get support till Aya. They didn't get anything. Maybe no, I will change that. I'm incorrect. They got support when BT12 hit, because they got the break ride and the cross break ride, or whatever it was called. That's when they got support. But that was still a long time compared to other ones. So I think with Mega Colony, yeah, other than Token Rambu, they're at the bottom of the barrel. Bushiroad's afraid to take a mechanic where you're either stunning the Vanguard preventing your opponent from doing anything, sending their rear guards to limit their attack options, which is their mechanic should have been from day one. Scared to take that over the edge, or they're scared to take the milling option over the edge. Because once Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a prime example, and Steven can correct me if I'm wrong, the mill deck, Yu-Gi-Oh!, because I haven't played Magic, is a scary thing. Like the worm deck, milling your opponent, and them not being able to recover from that because they've lost so many resources, it's a scary thing.
Mill deck in Vanguard, one of the main reasons they are so scared of making it better is because in Vanguard, it's an auto loss once the last card leaves your deck. In Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, you have to attempt to draw first, and then you lose. So if you either by drawing for turn or drawing by card effect, once you attempt to move a card from your deck, you lose if there's nothing to move. Well, in Vanguard, it's as soon as that card leaves your deck, you're dead. That's it.
Token Rumbu, I like this comment. Token Rumbu got reincarnated as Bermuda Triangle to Electric Weiseloo. I like that. That's pretty good, Mr. Zoo Nation. Don't believe it was official, but remember Bushy Staff commenting that stun was unfun as lock, so it won't be coming back. Milling doesn't do anything till you win, which is fair. But stunning thing is the big thing with stun versus lock is stun you could replace. At least until Gridor, because they shut down a column. Stun you could get over. Unless you didn't have a PG and somehow you got hit by Stun Beetle, which I'm sorry if that happened to you. But Union Direct, that's for one clan though. In mind. The thing is lock prevents you from playing the game. Rearguard centric decks cannot get around lock unless you are Aquaforce, you were Novas, which they had a small out, they could counter it, but Ange and Gold actually.
Yeah.
You had an out for good. You were able to play against Link Choker. Every deck could play against Mega Colony. Link Choker, only select decks could play against it. Ange was technically the Link Joker killer for a long time. So,
oh my god, yeah.
Mega Colony Stun, I think, should come back. Depends on how they bring it back. Milling may be the way to go. We'll see. I think
it would be fine
before we find out, but we'll see. We'll see.
Any other questions, Charlie?
I mean, we already went through all the questions I thought
Sure.
up for. Yeah, at this point it's just chat. I mean, if there's anything else you guys want to bring up, that's fine too.
Oh, this has been a lovely chat, but I do have to get going.
Yeah, that's fine. This stream has been going on for 3 hours.
Like 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah. Almost 3. Jesus.
Yeah. I was going since 1 my time, so 3 hours. Fuck.
I expected an hour, not gonna lie.
2 hours, 50 minutes. But it was definitely a great chat. I hope anybody listening to this can take our advice and hopefully helps you guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the chat.
Good. Jumbo Congo exists where it puts your opponent's hand to 4 at the end of turns. Bushy can make a more consistent mill strategy. Fuck yes, I agree. I actually wrote that.
Yeah.
But I will see you guys around. And all of our faithful 2 followers and viewers.
We have 5. That's what Streamlabs is telling me.
We have 5 now. Well, thank you 5 for showing up. Hope anybody who watches this VOD later on.
Yeah.
Feels like advice and.
I want to edit this, but YouTube just straight up uploads the stream. But yeah, see you later, Steven.
Put in timestamps. We talk about certain things.
Oh yeah, we can
make it easier.
Yeah.
Alright.
I just want to say that I would have topped at Anaheim if I didn't brick by not finding grade 3, since that was my only loss. Besides, like, second round, which was Great Nature, they pulled a 6 damage heal. That felt bad.
Hey, that's part of Vanguard, though, my guy.
Yeah. They did print Jammy on a Cray Elemental. Wait, which one is that? Jammy on a Cray Elemental? Wait, Josh, are you still there? Okay, well, I think... Oh. Are you just trying to find it? I'd have topped 8 in 2017 if my opponent didn't damage 2 draws and double Naru flip G-guard me on Dogma. Yikes, yeah. That feels really bad.
Ooh, feisty.
I remember when I was over in Houston, I was playing at their locals, and I went up against this Naru player, and he actually did the same thing to me, except he would like bind stuff, right? And then I knew about the G-guard, so I called 2 spread Amargas off of Gaia's on stride and gave them the skills. So since the G-guard binds something and then retires something, I just refilled my board. And he didn't know about it, which is really funny, so I still got my Dogma off.
Oh, damn.
I also was playtesting Quill Loop at the same time, though it was in casual games, as my tournament deck list was completely different from my Quill deck list. I tried it out, and then the deck died to double Naru G-guard, so that felt bad.
Oh.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? I think we'll end stream soon.
I think we'll end it now. Thank you everyone tuning in, all the questions and whatnot and chatting. I was on Ancient Dragon with Gaia Grade 3 at the time.
God.
For the days. Thanks for all the questions, chatting and whatnot to deal with Chronojet. Aha, fair. Hopefully we'll do another one of these in the future.
I mean, yeah, you said it all.
Probably when got Coil Loop plus Quake Legion do Chaos Players thing.
That's disgusting, though.
So yeah, we'll definitely talk with you guys again. So this was pretty cool, and yeah.
Hey, you got the outro good. You should just get your own YouTube channel, you know?
And that's what I'm working on. Actually gonna try and set something up today so that way I can get that going. So what I'm gonna do yet, so we'll see. I'll let you know when that's up and about. Probably take me about a couple hours.
Yeah.
Meantime, if you're doing anything, we can play CFA.
Yeah. I'll link Jacob's channel in the description, which is, I think it's Ginger Snaps or Gingy Snaps. I forgot which one it was. I'll link his channel in the description. I don't think Steven has a channel. I'll link Josh's channel when he makes one. But other than that, thanks you guys for coming to the stream. This stream will get uploaded right away. I think I'll go back in and put in timestamps so that other people can find stuff, or I could do like an edited version where one is the main stuff we were talking about, the other, like, there's another video just cutouts, you know, the extra stuff that we were memeing about. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll end stream now. Like, subscribe, comment, even though you guys already did throughout the whole stream. And yeah, stay safe